Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Konoha reads Naruto and rwby Chunin Exams. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by GunGate and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. A certain part remnant. After a rally on Faunus rights, some of the military couldn't take the ramblings for equality and their rights of multiple Faunus anymore. Little did they know, instead of normal soldiers, they got the more aggressive one who all the more hated Faunus. So instead of just threatening them to leave, instead they just outright fired their weapons at them, causing multiple deaths of innocent people. A certain 7-year-old girl was lucky enough to survive the initial bombardment. She was running away from the massacre with an injured left arm. She has long black curly hair, a pair of black cat ears, and amber eyes that resembles a cat. She continued to run while looking back at the fellow Faunus that was getting killed, crying for her fellow Faunus, but couldn't do anything. I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything, I'm really sorry, she thought over and over, after getting a fair amount of distance from the massacre, as fatigue and blood loss finally kicked in, causing her to go unconscious. But as she was unconscious, her injured left arm was being wrapped in shadows as it began healing itself. As it finished healing, a strange black tattoo was forming on her arm. The tattoo looked tribal and what looks like a scythe at the back with a kanji for shadow written at the bottom. The man that was looking down at her looks like he was waiting for her to heal. He was wearing a black tattered robe that stretched to his ankle, as his hood was covering his entire face that you couldn't even see his face, with white hair reaching shoulder length. Young one, I know I will bring you pain by sending you to a world that you know nothing about. It may hurt you or may bring you happiness, but I know that you will bring happiness to a certain person. Thus I gift you my scythe and the power over shadows and the ability to use chakra. He paused a bit, looking at the sky. Then he again looked at the worn out girl and said, where there is darkness there is always light. Darkness supports light and light supports darkness. Now go, young one, and protect that world with him, said the mysterious man as he held his hand over her. She began to disappear into darkness. Luckily she heard that world part, may you find the happiness you seek, something this world can't give you, as he faded into Darknessan. I'm making her an orphan in this story so you won't complain about where Kali and Gira is. In a part of Konoha. The boy was again running from a pack of mob that he didn't even know why they were trying to hurt him. He ran until he finally ran through a dead end. Finally we caught up to Demon. You killed my family, now you're gonna pay. As they beat the boy senseless, multiple cut, stabs, punch and kicks he endured. After a couple of minutes a bunch of people appeared to save the boy. What are you people doing, said the man with an authoritative voice. Hokage-sama W, we're just punishing the dem, said a man before a blade ran throughout his chest. Don't you pieces of shit dare call him that, as he brought his blade back from the man's chest, beating a child who can't even defend himself. You people are the demons here, said the one with the dog mask as he was about to kill another but was stopped by the man. Enough, dog. Anbu, take these scums to Ibiki and Anko, tell them they have a bunch of new toys to play with, said the Hokage, getting a multiple yes from the Anbu as they dragged the screaming villagers and shinobi to the T&I department. Naruto, I'm sorry I couldn't make it in time, dog. Bring Naruto-kun to the hospital before he got cut of when a little girl with cat ears appeared from the shadows next to the boy. What, as he was about to say anything else, Naruto was being enveloped with yellow glow as his wounds was being healed. At his right arm, a yellow-colored tribal tattoos began to appear similar to the girl, as it has a sword pointed upwards behind the tribal tattoo, with a kanji for light written at the bottom. The woman appeared in front of them, has long platinum hair, wearing a long white robe, and that looks like a scarf that's floating behind her and wrapping around her arms. She began to speak while ignoring the other two as she looked down Naruto. Young one of pure of heart with kindness that knows no bounds, one who will do anything to protect those who are precious to him, and the one who will bring pain upon his enemies. You will carry a part of my power to save this world from destruction, along with the girl, as she smiled at Naruto. Thus I gift you my sword, along with the power to control light. Where there is light there is always darkness. Light supports darkness and darkness supports light. She now finished her sentence as she faded into light. The two couldn't believe what they heard or saw. They don't know if the person they saw was Kami herself, but they couldn't deny that she helped Naruto, and now a girl with cat ears was now besides him. Dog, take these two to my office and lay them down at the sofa, ordered the Hokage. Yes, Hokage-sama, the one with the dog mask complied. He carried both to the Hokage's tower. Hokage's tower. As they arrived at his office, as the dog Anbu laid down both of them on the sofa, as the two of them was now looking at both of them with curious eyes. Hokage-sama, was that Kami-sama herself? If not, who is Shesate, the one with the dog mask? I don't know, Kakashi. If she is Kami, then I'm glad she saved Naruto-kun. He massaged his temples a bit. It seems that Naruto-kun, along with the girl, was now burdened to save this world, said the Hokage. Yes, I don't know what power they got, but it seems they really are burdened with a heavy responsibility, confirmed Kakashi. Ugh, if the council finds out about this we will have another problem. If Kami-sama gave Naruto-kun his gift, then the girl might have Shinigami-sama as her patron. Oh, the paperwork, said the Hokage as he grimaces at the mention of paperwork. Kakashi, this is a SSS class secret, no one should know about this, Hokage said, getting a nod from Kakashi. No, let's wait for the two of them to wake up. 3 hours later. The girl was the one who first woke. She surveyed the area and saw two people. She saw an old man wearing robes who was smoking in a pipe, while the other one was wearing a dog mask with a gravity-defying hair. As she shook her head at the thought. You where am I, asked the cat girl. You are in my office at the village of Konoha, said the Hokage. Konoha? What part of Remnant is Konoha at? Now it's Kakashi's turn to ask Remnant. This land of ours is in the elemental nations. I have not heard the land of Remnant. Remnant is not a land, it's our planet, said the girl with no hint of lie in her voice. The two was really confused at this, as the Hokage asked another question, do you remember how you got here? In return the girl was now crying. I remembered that I was running from soldiers that was killing my kind. She began to cry harder after I ran far enough. The pain caused me to go unconscious, but something happened, something warm covered my arm, then I only remembered the word that whirled, then everything turned dark, then here I am, explained the girl. None to say that Kakashi was confused, but the Hokage understand those two words perfectly. It's official, she came from another world, child, called out the Hokage as she looked at him. It seems you came from another world, different from this one again, Kakashi, and the girl was shocked. The one who brought you here seems to be Shinigami-sama, or in other words the death god, he explained. So I died, as she looked down to her feet. No, it seems he healed you and sent you, Hera said as she looked at him with eyes that are filled with sorrow. But why me? My life was nothing more than a joke. My parents died protecting me, my people was ridiculed and killed, being called a plague because of our animal features, being hunted down by some people, and finally I'm here after my people was killed, just because we were just voicing our rights for equality. As tears streaming down her eyes non-stop. She is just like Naruto-kun, thought both Kakashi and the Hokage. Child, what's your name, he asked. Blake Belladonna. What about you, she replied as she wiped away her tears. Sarutobi Hiruzen, I am the leader of this village, said Hiruzen as she nodded. Blake, do you see the one besides you? She looked to the side and saw the boy who looks like the same age as her with blonde hair and has whisker marks. Yes, but who is he? His name is Naruto Uzumaki, like you, he has gone the same suffering as you, sometimes worse than others, with dread in his voice. How, I mean, look at him, he's smiling like an idiot, she said, getting an obvious reaction from both. Kakashi and Hiruzen sweat dropped as they saw what she was talking about. They exactly saw a smiling Naruto. Then Kakashi was the one who Spakito not let his appearance fool you, Blake-san. Just earlier he was beaten, slashed, stabbed by mobs by something he couldn't control, explained Kakashi. She couldn't deny that she wasn't angry with the people that did this to him, in fact she was furious with them. But why, what did he do that people would do? Actually beat him to death, said Blake angrily. Kakashi sighed at this, then explained. 8 years ago, this village was attacked by the nine-tailed fox and nearly destroyed out village, he said as Hiruzen continued for Kakashi. But was stopped by the fourth Hokage by sacrificing his life by using the Reaper's death seal. He sealed the demon to a newborn child, and that child is Naruto. The people think that Naruto-kun is the fox himself, so rather than being treated like a hero the fourth wanted him to be, instead they ostracized him and became the village's pariah, he explained. She now looked at Naruto with eyes full of sympathy as she began crying. She didn't know that he lived a life of hell, now he was beginning to wake up. Yo Gigi, what's happening, said Naruto as he was tackled by a girl with cat ears. That was crying over his chest. Hey, why are crying, as he put his hand slowly onto her head. Because you lived a life worse than mine, said Blake. Gigi, you explained to her my life, then said with a sombered look. Yes, as she was chosen, as you were chosen. What do you mean, Gigi asked. Do you see the tattoo on your arm here, he played. What tattoo, said as he stared at the tattoo on his arm and stared at the Hokage again. When did I have a tattoo, he asked with a confused look. You got it earlier, Blake-chan here even has the same tattoo as you. Then her ears perked up and looked at her arm. Huh, when did I get this, said Blake, confused at how she got the tattoo. Your name's Blake, huh? Name's Naruto Uzumaki, said Naruto with his foxy smile. She blushed a little before she replied, Blake Belladonna, nice to meet you. Weird name, wanna be French, said as he held his arms. Like your name's any better, I think it means fish cake, isn't it? But sure, as she rolled her eyes playfully and held her arms to shake his, she couldn't believe how happy he is even with all the hardships he has endured. Hey, it also means Maelstrom retorted. Whatever you, says Whiskers also retorted. So now it's Whiskers, then I'll also call you Kitty, then if you're calling me Whiskers, he shot back at her. She just shrugged that remark on her and just huffed at him. Hey Kitty, are those cat ears real, he asked. Yes, they're real as they can be, and don't call me kiddish, said with a bit of sarcasm. As long as you won't call me Whiskers then I'll stop, so can I pet them, said, and looks like he is persistent in petting her ears. Fine, you can call me Kitty, as long as I call you Whisker, as she looked at him with her amber eyes and suddenly back him shy and sure, but only a little fake and sensitive-ish, said, looking away with a blush. He began to pet her ears as she purred and snuggled into Naruto's arms, while Naruto also blushed at how cute she is. Ahem, getting both of their attention as they parted from each other with blushes on their faces. Naruto-kun, Blake-chan, your tat, said Hiruzen as he pointed at their arms. Oh yay, Gigi, do you know how we got them, he asked, hoping for an answer. Yes, I know them, in fact I just witnessed it earlier. As he paused a bit. Yours, Naruto-kun, came from Kami-sama, she gifted you her sword, but I don't know what sword it is, since no one knows, with the power over light or light release. Well, Blake-chan's tattoo came from Shinigami-sama, as he gave Blake-chan his scythe and power over shadows, if the ones in your tattoos are correct, he explained. Shadows? Like the Naras? Said Kakashi. Yes, Kakashi, but other than to control others' shadow by connecting their shadows to their enemies or allies, instead maybe she can weaponize her shadows into spears, spikes, even shields, and maybe even travel through shadows. I don't know the possibilities of their abilities, he explained. So we have a boy who has light release while the girl has shadow release, so opposite sides of a coin, then said Kakashi with a strange quote to describe them. Awesome, exclaimed Naruto with stars in his eyes. Gigi, can you train me and Blake-chan? Why would we need to train, Whiskers asked Blake, then tilted her head. To be ninjas, of course, why else would we train, answered with smile. Blake blushed a little at word ninja''an. Yes, I know she is a bit too young, but she's more intelligent than a normal child, especially when she knew a little about politics, so she's more precautious than most children. But why would we need to be ninjas, questioned Blake. Let me explain, as she looked at Kakashi. Trained to be ninjas to protect our village and its people, especially our loved ones, but there is one downside of this job, but I won't tell you for now, since I might scar you both. You will find the answer on your own in the future, with a hint of sadness in his voice. It's okay, Kakashi-san, I understand, I won't ask any further, we'll just discover it on our own as we grow up, said Blake. So Gigi, can you train us, said Naruto. Of course, Naruto-kun, as he also looked at Blake-chan. Do you also want to train with Naruto-kun? She hesitated a bit but accepted anyway, since she doesn't know what to do in this world. I accept, but I don't have a house or a resident of your village, she explained. Don't worry, child, I'll take care of the paperwork for your residency. Well, you can live with Naruto for now, said Hiruzen. She blushed at the thought of living with Naruto, or with a guy for that matter. Hey Whiskers, you don't mind, do you? She again blushed. Sure, you can live with me as long as you like, said the boy, surprising the other three. Is he saying what I think he's saying, she thought as she was fighting the blush that was creeping to her face, but failed to do so. Oh Naruto, you're good with words, but you're dense behind the meaning of it, thought Hiruzen. Just like Minato-sensei, Naruto is as dense as he is. I hope that Blake isn't like Kushina-san, and if Naruto is her son, then he must also have the legendary temper of the Izamikas, thought Kakashi, paled and shivered at the thought. He wishes that Blake isn't as short temper as Kushina or Naruto. Hey Kitty, why are you blushing, and why are you two looking at me with weird faces, said Naruto. Yep, he's his son alright, both adult male thought. It's nothing, Whiskers, but will you really let me stay with you, she said with her eyes staring at him, making him blush a bit, but disappeared right after. Sure, why not, but I only have one bed, thought Naruto, ignorant to the blush that Blake was now wearing. Oh, one BBBBB bed, said nervously while also stuttering like a certain heiress he knows. Yay, but if you want I'll just sleep at the couch, said while scratching his cheeks while looking away. It's okay, Whiskers, I'll sleep in the couch, it's your bed, so it's alright if I sleep at the couch, replied. I told you it's okay, I can't let a girl sleep at the couch. Wow, he really is that full maybe. Okay Whiskers, how about this, let's just both sleep at the bed, said with no intentions at all. Nope, nothing at all. Sure, if you're okay with it, I don't mind, said with no meaning behind it. Young love, I remember how me and Bawako met as kids, as Hiruzen was now thinking about his past. Lucky little runt, he already got a girl after he just met her a while ago. I'm just happy he has someone to be with. I smiled at both of them, thought they couldn't really tell behind his mask. Okay, you two, time to go home, as the two children nodded as he ordered Kakashi to send them home. Blake-chan, don't get angry too much as you see his home. Kakashi put some sealing on their doors and windows and any entrances into his apartment and set it so that only Naruto-kun and Blake-chan can enter, getting a nod from the dog Anbu. Why would I be angry just by looking at his apartment, said a confused Blake. Let's just say the villagers not only attacked Naruto-kun physically, but also Mentalia's anger was already showing on her face, and a sad face from Naruto. I'll try, Hiruzen-san, she said. Please just call me Gigi like Naruto, said Hiruzen with a warm smile on his face. Okay Gigi. Oh, and Kakashi, as he looked at Hiruzen, I'm giving you a mission to train these two in secret before they graduate as Genins. You will get paid every month until they graduate. Yes, Hokage-sama replied. I'll be giving you three the location of your training ground tomorrow, so be sure to visit so I can also give Blake-chan here her ID. And Blake-chan, Naruto-kun, your training will start at 3 days from now. Kakashi, you are now dismissive, giving them a smile and getting a nod from Kakashi. The case aid both of them as they leave the tower. Oh, before I forget, the three of them face the Hokage. Kakashi, here's some money to buy them supplies and please escort them home so that no incidents like earlier. Oh, and as he did some hand seals and place a Jinjutsu on Blake to hide her cat ears. This is Jinjutsu or illusion to hide your ears so that only I can see throughout the illusion. We don't want the villagers to think that you're a cat demon now, do we? Getting a nod from the girl. Okay, you two, let's go, as he put both of his hands on their shoulders as they shunshine to Naruto's apartment. As Hiruzen sat on his chair and looking at the night sky thinking, oh, I forgot to tell them that they should enter the ninja academy in a few months. Oh well, I'll tell them. Tomura muttered to himself. Outside of Naruto's apartment. As to say, when the three of them arrive at Naruto's apartment, Blake was seething with rage and clenched her fist as she saw countless vandalized walls and weapons stuck to the walls in his apartment, while Naruto was filled with so much sadness that he couldn't even describe. It's okay, kitty, I don't mind. I already gave up cleaning it every time they do this, ate Naruto with a sad smile. Why, how are you okay with this? Aren't you mad at them for doing this? As she pointed to his apartment. I've tried, but the more I do something about it, the more they go after me. Explain. Why won't Gigi take care of them then? Isn't he the leader of this village? Kakashi sighed because Blake's, and every time the third do something he is always being bothered by the civilian council or the elders every time he tried to help, but no, they wanted Naruto here to suffer or demanding the third to execute him. Earning a gasp from Blake. How could they do that to him? As she clenched her fist even harder. It's okay, kitty, as long as I can protect the people I love, I'll deal with the hardships they throw at me, said Naruto, surprising Kakashi to the point that he admired the blonde with his determination while getting a hug from Blake while crying so hard for him. From now on, if you need someone, I'll always be there for you, hugging him even harder as she bore her face in his chest as he returned the hug. Thank you, kitty, now let's go inside and sleep, as they part from each other's hug and walk to his apartment door as they looked at Kakashi. Good night, Kakashi-san, they both said as they entered the apartment. Strive, Naruto, you may turn this village views around you and see that you truly are the hero your father wanted you to be, as he shunshined home. Inside Naruto's apartment. Hey kitty, are you sure about the bed? Sharingas, he sheepishly looked at Blake. Yes, I can't really leave you alone, can I? Plus we should get to know each other, Morish replied. Can't argue with you, can I? No popping the pee. As they both lay down on their bed. Good night, kitty. Good night, Whiskers, as they fall asleep waiting for their training to come. And 3 days later. 3 days after the two met, Blake was now an official citizen of Konoha. Kakashi was now walking with the two of them going to the training ground as he bought Naruto a single-edged Zanbato that is 5'8" feet and the handle is about 15" long, with no sword guard, with the blade has a slight curve. Curiously, he can carry it with ease. Must be one of Kami-sama gift. Well, Blake got a scythe with the length of Kakashi's height, with the shaft colored black with a 4-inch handle in the middle of the scythe shaft and has 2 blades, a large one on the tip of the shaft and a smaller one at the bottom. Since Kakashi concluded that they can't use their given weapons yet, since he told them to put chakra on their tattoos after he lectured them about chakra yesterday. They now arrived at the training ground at the back of the Hokage Monumentan. I don't know any secret training ground, so I'll just go with a behind the monument training ground thing. It was a clearing that's the size of the Hyuga's compound and that has a small pond and a bridge over it connecting to the other side and 4 cherry blossom trees at both entrances. Saying it's beautiful is an understatement. It was the perfect place to train and relax. The two was in awe at the beauty of their training ground. This place is beautiful, said Blake, still in awe at the scenery. This place is awesome, said Naruto as he shouted at the end. It sure is, can't believe Hokage-sama gave us this training ground, said Kakashi, still admiring the view the place gives. They walked to the middle of the clearing and he gave the 2 chakra papers. What are these? Blake asked. These are called chakra papers, Kakashi answered. Chakra papers, as both tilted their head in question. Yes, chakra papers, they let you see what kind of affinities you have, like fire, water, wind, earth, and lightning for basic affinities, but we have things called sub-elements, for example your light and dark affinities, also the Shadames would release, ice, lava, steam. It's safe to say that their eyes were replaced with gleaming stars. To know what kind of elements you have, pour some chakra on the papers, he explained to them. Now add some of your chakra on the paper, he ordered. Hi, they both yelled as pour their chakra on the paper. Naruto's paper was cut into tiny little pieces as each piece glowed brightly, while Blake's paper turned pitch black and crumbled into a tiny paper ball. I already expected the light and shadow attributes, but it surprises me that Naruto has wind and Blake has lightning, and both of you have extremely high affinities for them. Getting a nod from both for Blake, I only know two lightning jutsus, and two of them are A-class jutsus. Blake was disappointed that she may not learn them, but to her surprise, but since Blake here has the same chakra reserves as Naruto, might be because of your gift, so I can't teach them to you. But only if your chakra levels are at the level of high jounin. As for other lightning jutsus, you may need to frequently visit the library, he suggested. Then he looked at Naruto. For you Naruto, I'll call a friend of mine that can teach you about wind manipulations and jutsus, but for now, I need you to train your bodies to the utmost limit, that's why I brought a friend of mine to train you physically. He shivered a bit, making them train with what's the word? Ah yes, youthful individual, come on guy, meet our new student. Suddenly a blur appeared making a small crater on the ground, posing, much to the horror of Blake and Naruto. He was wearing a full-blown green spandex under an unzipped jounin vest with orange leg warmers, a bowl-cut hair, and two of the most bushiest brows they have ever seen. Safe to say Naruto and Blake fainted due to shock. Ah, I knew this would happen, he muttered it himself as he opened an orange book and proceeded reading until the two wakes up. Gosh, my eternal rival, where are my new students? I will teach them about eternal youth. Guy yelled, pumping his fist in the air as he did his nice guy's pose, and it seems there's a hint of twinkle when he smiled. Kakashi looked up at Guy with a bored face. You say something, Guy. GHHH. Curse you and your hip and cool attitude, Guy shouted at Kakashi, and he sighed at his stupidity. As for our new students, he pointed at the two unconscious bodies. They fainted due to shock. Also no, you cannot teach them about your damn youth, he said in a serious tone with the keyword no. You cannot deny them of my youth. He yelled, retorted back. God damn it, Guy muttered to himself and shook his head. Anyway, we need to train these to physically, and I mean to their utmost limits, so don't pull any punches in their training, he instructed Guy. Don't worry Kakashi, I will train them to their limits. Surprisingly, he didn't shout. Good, but don't teach them the eternal youth crap or Hokage-sama will be on our asses, he warned Guy, which he gulped. In the next 20 minutes both children now woke up from their shock of horror and again was shocked by that man who made them faint earlier. Well, for Naruto anyway. Well, Blake hissed at the man. Those are the bushiest brow I have ever seen, thought Naruto, so he'll just call him Bushy Brow Sensei. If those things are alive, we'll kill them, though Blake while still hissing. Now my youthful students wear these as he held up straps of some kind. What are those, Bushy Brow Sensei, said Naruto, earning a chuckle from Kakashi and Blake. Well, Guy just accepted without complaining. These, my dear boy, are weights and I will strap them on your arms and legs. Each of them are about 10 pounds each, making them 40 pounds if you wear it on both arms and legs, Guy explained. Why? Both of them asked, but still bothered by the huge brows. It's raise your physical capabilities to the utmost extent as your bodies adapt to the weight. I will add more weights to increase your physicals, he answered, getting a nod from both of them, and wore the weights that he gave them. Now let us run 10 laps around Konoha. Let us show them our youthful determination. He shouted, getting complaints from the two, but still did it anyway, since they have no other choice on who to train them physically. They now ran out of the training ground, leaving Kakashi with a disbelieving look. I hope they won't turn into Guy, he hoped, as he continued to read his smut. 1 year time skip. For the past year they have trained with Guy. Now replacing the weights Guy gave them with gravity seals when Jiraiya visited. It was hectic at first as he proclaimed himself as a super pervert, as he called himself, but got along eventually, thought kind of an understatement. They got along really fast since Jiraiya introduced Blake the Icha Icha series, followed by Blake convincing Naruto to read it as well, and it turns out he actually liked it, especially the plot lines. Now Kakashi has now 2 reading buddies he can enjoy with, but they will never read it in public. 3 year time skip. For the past 3 years they have trained their bodies to the point of breaking, having Naruto mastered his Kenjutsu and even using his Zanbato at one hand as he was trained by Yugao, codenamed Cat, an Anbu loyal to the Hokage. He learned the sword style called Blood Song, a sword style that uses Zanbato or greatswords. This particular sword style uses speed and technique and how flexible the body is rather than strength. It only uses about half the strength than the usual strength to hold up or swing a huge sword, and rather than arm strength, it uses the momentum of each sword swings to make it stronger, while also giving it a melody for every sword swings. The style is almost unpredictable since every swings the sword makes is that of the form of music. It changes forms every swings, whether it be stabs, full swings, downward strikes, upward strikes. It can even be used at the air, though not as effective as being on the ground, the only downside that it needs to build momentum. He also trained his Futen and Koten jutsus. He learned the Futen, Great Breakthrough, Futen, Air Bullet, Futen, Wind Wall, and self-created jutsus, which Arean. I am not gonna explain the jutsus, I'll explain them when he actually uses them. Same with Blake, Futen, Dragon's Rage, Futen, Vortex Destroyer, Koton, Light Release, Swords of the Heaven, Koten, Absorbing light, Koten. Heaven's gift, Koten. Severing lance. With the chakra control training that and Blake did, they could perform these jutsus with minimal effort. Both their chakra control is about high jounin level, with their chakra reserves being above cage level. Blake was close to mastering her Najikama jutsu, since no one in Konoha can't teach her, so she's gone to the library in order to find a style that she can use her side. She found a certain style that uses speed, technique, acrobatics and stealth, which was called Shadow Stalker. It seems in the past there a shadow user that can manipulate shadows as good as she is. It's even more perfect for her, since it uses all kinds of scythes, pole scythes, chain sickle, or dual sickles. This style use pole scythes to fight on the ground, as well as it is in the air, mostly in the air, since most of techniques focused on acrobatics and assassinations. The style also incorporates the user's power over shadow on their weapon, making it extend far enough to strike his or her opponents, and also meld oneself to shadows, and strike the opponents without even coming out of his or her shadows. Only the weapon as this style is deadly on thick forest, cave and dead of night. And like the Blood Song's downside, it's only truly effective at night as there's only few hiding places on open areas at daylight and only a few in the forest when the sun is up, but detectable. Blake learned lightning jutsus from Kakashi, but only two which are Raiten. Lightning Blade, Raiten. Chain Lightning is for the other lightning jutsus she learned from the scrolls Kakashi gave her that are Raiten. Lightning Rod, Raiten. Electromagnetic Murder and a self-made which is Raiten. Spear of the Thunder God, for shadow it's more on manipulating shadow than making it a jutsu. The shadows from the surrounding areas as weapons and shields, thus making Shadow Claw, Shadow Wall, Shadow Walk, Shadow Vortex and Shadow Spikes, also Dark Fiend, kind of having a sentient shadow being living in your own shadowan. The form of the Dark Fiend I'll think for it a while. Also both of them learned the taijutsu called Armai no not really creative. This taijutsu uses a person's the fist, shoulders, palms edge, fingers, elbows, knees, and their foot to act like blades, whips, and blunt weapons, and shields or armors. It is one of the most hardest to master taijutsu form, as it requires to mimic both the sharpness of cutting weapons and the hardness of blunt weapons and armors. But mostly the flexibility to actually perform as it also requires the person to train their body to an extent to actually perform the techniques of the said taijutsu. They even befriended a pale lavender-eyed girl named Hinata from their class 2 years ago during their time in the academy, as they treated her like a little sister figure because of her shy and meek attitude, as she also looked at Blake and Naruto as her older siblings which they grew really close. I mean really close, as both Naruto and Blake became protective of Hinata since they knew she can't really hurt others when they try to hurt her. But they also knew that they can't always protect her, so they always told her to be confident of herself and always be strong, so she did. She can now defend herself from others, and her shy nature was toned down a little when sparring, but was still shy around her surrogate older siblings. 1 year time skip. The three of them are now in their 4th year in their academy days. Hinata got permission from her father to train with Naruto and Blake with Kakashi and Guy as their sensei. He was reluctant at first because of Kakashi's lazy attitude, Naruto's wild personality, and especially he doesn't want her to shout about youth because of Guy. He shuddered at the thought of her shouting about youth at the top of her lungs. Either way she has improved leaps and bounds, so he can't really complain. But they were holding back in class since they don't want to attract too much attention. "Hey kitty, Hina-chan, wanna go get some food?" Naruto offered. "Sure, I'm getting kinda hungry," said Blake. "Hi Naruto-kun, so where are we going to eat?" asked Hinata. I know Blake likes tuna and Hinata barbecue and cinnamon rolls. I don't know really, most restaurants doesn't want to serve me food, he pondered. Well, the two was disgusted on how the village treats Naruto. Even though both of them already knew of the Kyuubi inside him, they're still angry at the village. Yes, Naruto told Hinata a year ago about Kyuubi after he discovered Kyuubi himself after he fell asleep 2.5 years ago, since the three of them became inseparable since. "Hinata-chan, let's just go to Ichiraku. I don't want to burden Whiskers just to keep us happy," Blake whispered to Hinata, getting a slight nod as she understands Naruto's burden. "Naruto-kun, let's go to Ichiraku's. I kind of want ramen all of a sudden," said Hinata. "Are you sure, Hina-chan? What about you, kitty?" he asked. "No problem with me, Whiskers, besides we still have tuna left in the fridge," she said. "By the way, why are guys calling each other Whiskers and kitty?" Hinata asked them the question, making them sweat bullets looking for an excuse. Because kitty here looks like a cat because of her eyes and tuna addiction." Yeah, that's it," he answered, which isn't totally a lie. "Hinata-chan, you already know why I call him Whiskers," as Blake pointed at Naruto's whisker marks on his cheeks, getting a huge O from her mouth, as well as feeling embarrassed at the obvious. "One day I'll tell you, Hina-chan." Hinata-chan was on the mind on both of them, as they felt guilty at lying at their surrogate little sister. "Oh okay, anyway let's go." She quickly changed the subject as she thought it was a bit personal. The three of them now left to go to Ichiraku's. 1 year time skip. Genin exam day. Finally the day of the exams, for the past years they were in the academy. The three have been holding back as no one knows of their secret trainings. That means no more playing dumb and no more holding back. This time they're going all out and no more disguises. Even Hinata, because how her body is developing way too fast for a 13-year-old. Ninja Academy. Iruka was getting worried that three of his students aren't around, thinking that they won't come, but soon came three people he couldn't recognize at first, but soon it hit him. Blake, Naruto, Hinata, is that you? Questioned an utterly confused Iruka. Yep, I mean who else has my whisker marks on my cheeks and two girls who has amber and pale lavender eyes, Naruto answered. All students in class was in the same line of thinking. Say what, they all screamed inwardly. Oh my god. That's Naruto. Yelled a platinum blonde. She was Ino Yamanaka. He looks absolutely hot, as she continued to gape at the fellow blonde, being the keyword hot. Is that Blake and Hinata? Who would be the best girlfriend, but for some reason I shouldn't. Was thinking of an annoying boy with a dog in his hood. He was Kiba in Yuzuka. Troublesome classmates was the only thought. A pineapple head boy who was Shikamaru Nara. Why do I feel a pressure munch from them? Thinking of I mean plump boy who is Choki Akamichi. They finally revealed themselves. Maybe I'll tell them that I already know, since my bugs felt power from them, and maybe apologize sending bugs without them, knowing, thought the monotone boy who is Shino Aburam. And you guys already know who that is. Thinking they're cool, only Sasu can be cool. Well, it's getting boring writing who they are. So. The classroom was in absolute shock, both their senseis and classmates. Really, they can't even say anything about their new appearance. Let's just say that the boys have minor nosebleeds while the girls were drooling. Because they looked absolutely different, especially Naruto. Blake now adorned a long wavy black hair, a heart face shape, along with her cat-like ember eyes, an almost hergless figure as her breast was B-cup nearing to C, also with her being fair-skinned, same height, which is 5'6" feet. She was now wearing a custom-made outfit of her design. A long dark grey coat with white lining, but only has one sleeve to show her tattoo on her left arm, with a purple fitted arm warmer that stretched from her middle finger until her elbows with her emblem of choice, since it reminds of her original home, and a sleeveless black crop top. The crop top has rectangular and diamond-shaped cutouts around the neckline. Also, she wears a white belt over black fitted pants with a custom-made boots that is both sturdy and flexible, reaching to her thighs, and at the back of her coat is a kanji saying intruder, and also seals just at the middle of her coat, and also a seal on her side that pulls each other magnetically and can't be undone until she deactivate the seal holding her SCYTHEAN. Just imagine Blake's volume 4 outfit with a little bit of adjusting. But her kunai and shuriken pouch was hidden under her coat at her back. Naruto was now 5'11" feet tall, with his blonde hair at shoulder level, along with his hair tied up, but with his bangs at his sides were at chin level, and the rest was above his eye, and no baby fat was adorning his face. He also wore a black fitted sleeveless muscle shirt that shows his chiseled chest and six packs. He wore the same time of coat as Blake, but was sleeveless on his right arm to show his tattoo, and was colored dark red with black lining, but more of like a cloak as it goes to knee level long. He also wore a black colored cargo pants and at the ankles were tied up with bandages, and wore a standard black ninja sandals. The coat has the kanji vanguard and has the same function as Blake's for holding her side, but for him it was a zanbato. And rather than a fitted arm warmers, he just wore a black fingerless gloves with a metal plates on the back of the arm. His ninja pouch was at the same place with Blake's. Hinata has the height of 5'4" feet, slightly smaller than Blake, but has more developed body than her. Her face, like Blake, is a heart-shaped face with her princess hair longer at neck level with her body, was now really an hergless with a D-cup breast that girls would die for without her wearing her baggy jacket that was hiding it. She now wore an unzipped long-sleeved white and lavender-colored jacket, and under it is a white-colored shirt with a standard kunoichi pants that only reaches her knees, with combat tape wrapped at her left thigh, with her kunai and shuriken pouch, and a standard ninja sandals. Also with the bracelets on her wrist, which was a gift from Blake and Naruto on her birthday. Finally Iruka snapped out of his stunned state and broke the silence. Anyway, the exams consist of 3 parts, which are written, taijutsu, and ninjutsu. As he and Mizuki began to hand over their exam papers, now you have 45 minutes to complete the written part of the examination, as he shot the last part. Naruto noticed a genjutsu over his exam which was handed by Mizuki. Man, I know he hates me, but come on, he inwardly whined as he quietly whispered Kai to remove the genjutsu. And it goes as it was in the canon, I just lazy in written type, so there. Iruka checked his watch, and that 45 minutes has passed. Stop, time's up. No, put your pencils down, follow Mizuki-sensei, and proceed to the training field for the taijutsu exam. Everyone left as Iruka proceeded in getting the papers of his students and smiled at the paper of one student. Knew he was just playing dumb. You will get far, Naruto, he thought as he looked outside the window and gave a relief sigh. After he collected the papers and put it on his desk to grade them later, he soon followed them outside. Outside. Now all of you sit down around the arena as Iruka calls your name, come to the center of the arena said Mizuki, giving a slight glare to Naruto, which has gone unnoticed by the three. I'll skip it until it's Naruto, Blake and Hinata's turn. Excellent performance Uchiha, you lasted 2.5 minutes as Iruka wrote his grade at his list pad, getting a nod from Duck but Hinata Hyuga, come to the center of the ring he called out. Some of the students didn't hear her stutter which confused them, it's like she gained a boost of confidence last night. Again he shouted, but Mizuki didn't expect that Hinata rushed at him, giving him a quick jab to his knees, disabling them with her Jaiken as his legs gave, after that she gave him a hard roundhouse to the face, making him fly outside the ring, finishing the match at 15 seconds flat, knocking him unconscious. All of them have their jaws hanging as they couldn't believe what they just saw. The shy heiress beat the instructor with ease. That's for Naruto Naichin giving him a slight glare before returning to her seat. When did Hinata get so good? Thought Iruka raising a brow a good job Hinata, as soon as Mizuki wakes up we'll continue with the exams. Mizuki woke up for a good 15 minutes groaning and rubbing his knees and head what happened? You just got knocked out by Hyuga-san over there pointing to Hinata. Wow ugh never mind anyway who's next has got up and headed towards the ring. Next Blake Belladonna he called out as she stepped towards the ring and proceeded to her Arma stance. Armor as she just stood there with her legs light apart and crouched as he hards covered her face in an L shape which was unknown to the rest begin. Mizuki slowly ran up to her without thinking as he thought she was just making up stances as he knows she didn't came from a known family but soon proved him wrong. He just saw her in her unusual stance. He performed a roundhouse kick at her face, but she redirected her hand a bit to intercept the kick landed on her hand, but rather than Blake who was supposed to be her that was screaming in pain, but surprising them as the one who was screaming in pain was Mizuki as he clutching his almost shattered foot. What the hell, it feels like a kicked iron or something he thought wincing at the pain. Well he was distracted. Blake shifted to her blunt stance, she rushed in front of him and sent her right foot forward and both of her hands formed fists that looked as hard as iron or harder and clutched them together as she lunged her two fists into Mizuki's chest and got knocked the wind out of him as he panted grasping for breath ready to pass out. Iruka was about to call the match but was cut off by Blake ramming a fist in his gut, making him black out from the lack of air. The crowd was shocked again because not only Hinata knocked out their sensei who was chunin, but again knocked out for a second time which was unheard of, they were gaping like fishes which got a chuckle from Naruto and Hinata, but got in single angry Uchiha. How, that power should be mine he continued gritting his teeth in rage. What's up with those two today, it's like they're a different person, wait does that mean as he looked at Naruto, who was excited for his turn you have my condolence Mizuki. Today you're just a punching bag for those three he sighed anyway, let's take a break until Mizuki wakes up again truly he was getting tired waiting for Mizuki to wake up every time he got knocks out. Mizuki woke up again ground as he felt a sharp in his chest and stomach like he got hit by a boulder. Looking around and found Blake already sitting by the rest of the students I got knocked out again didn't I? Yup, and you got knocked out hard. You know what I don't care anymore, since Uzumaki is the only one left he sighed at relief because it's just the dead last. Oh how wrong he was. Now then, Uzumaki Naruto as Naruto jumped onto the ring, grinning like a madman which kinda unnerved Mizuki a bit but shrugged it off thinking that he was just hit too hard by the last two I pity you Mizuki he shook his head. Ahaha finally someone I can handle, maybe I'll put a few broken bones while I'm at it he chuckled inwardly while none showing on his face but Naruto knows better. Oh I know that face. I hope Iruka-sensei won't get mad at me for a few broken bones and maybe a little bit more Naruto rubbed his chin thinking. Begin. Like Blake. Naruto entered into his blunt stance as he shoulder tackled him sending him flying but wasn't done as he shifted to his stance to whip stance. He ran towards Mizuki before he fell out of the ring and grabbed him and by the looks of it his hand kinda stretch, he pulled Mizuki and again shifted to his blunt stance since he decided that the blade piercing stances were too dangerous well to the enemies. He sent a barrages of punch and kicks that's as hard as a giant iron Tetsubo, which again knocked him unconscious, but with bruises, black eye, and a few broken bones, since he didn't want to drag out the fight and quickly finished him. Quickly but painfully which he enjoyed nonetheless. He looked down at the beat up body well that was easy he was about to go back to his friends, but saw all of them gaping like a fish including Iruka what? Something on my face getting a few face faults. Naruto, what kind of taijutsu you and Blake been using Iruka asked getting a few interested people were listening. The taijutsu me and Blake were using is called Arma Naruto answered. Arma? Yes Iruka-sensei Arma, a taijutsu that practically transforms our bodies into weapons. With enough practice our bodies can either become a sword, a whip, a spear, hammer, shield, armor, etc., etc. I mean weapons and ninjutsu aren't always the deciding factor in a fight he answered. Iruka was shocked by his words, he couldn't believe that Naruto gave a reasonable advice. Who are and what have you done with Naruto? He pointed his fingers. Are you kidding me, Iruka-sensei, giving him a deadpan stare, causing Iruka to chuckle lightly at his student's expense. Come on Naruto, anyway we'll continue the rest of the exam here outside, he said to the other students, causing them to nod. But Iruka forgot that Mizuki was knocked out, but first let me call some medic nin to check up on Mizuki, as he ran to the academy and called some medic. The three was chatting together until a certain duck butt came in with his fangirls in tow, which is kinda annoying. "Oh, teach me your taijutsu," the certain Uchiha demanded. "I'm not going to teach you anything, Uchiha, now buzz off," said Naruto, waving his hand, shooing the Uchiha. "I wasn't asking, I'm demanding you to teach me," before he got punched in the head by Naruto. "Aka, what are you doing?" the banshee screeched, causing pain for Blakessa's other ears. Sakura, Blake said in a cold tone, making Sakura to stiffen. "If you won't shut up, I'll make it look like Mizuki's injury like child's play," as she poured a little kai in her tone. She backed up, knowing it was dangerous to talk anymore. "Nai-chan, Ni-chan, you guys should control your anger," as Hinata scolded them. "Sorry," both of them said in unison. An hour has passed since Mizuki was knocked out. The medics completely healed him as they began the ninjutsu part of the exams. Now that Mizuki-sensei is healed, we are now going to start the ninjutsu part of the exam. In this exam you need to perform the academy's 3 basic jutsu, which are Kawarami, Henge, and Bunshin, and if you want, perform a single jutsu of your own choosing for extra credit, he instructed as he called them one by one, until 4 of them was left. Uchiha Sasuke called out, "Now perform the 3 academy jutsus." He then substituted with a chair and returned, then transformed into his father Fugaku Uchiha, and made 4 bunshins. "Good, now do you want to perform a jutsu for extra credit?" he asked. "Yes, there's one," made hand signs and yelled Kaiten. "Great fireball jutsu." He inhaled and spat out a huge fireball, as the fireball connected to a single tree and was obliterated, as his fangirls screeching and yelling how cool their Sasuke-kun were and looked at the 3 thinking that they would be jealous, but instead they were chatting like they didn't even care and made him seething in anger. He took his headband before walking up to them. "Yo losers, see if you can top it," he pointed at the chart 3. The 3 of them looked at it and looked at each other, then faced him as all 3 of them said one thing that even made him even angrier, as all 3 of them said together, "Sure, why not?" Hinata Hyuga same with Uchiha but didn't use a normal bunshin, instead she used Kage Bunshin, which created a solid clone Hinata. "Where in the hell did you learn Kage Bunshin?" he yelled, but not in anger, but surprised. "Oh, I learned it from Nai-chan and Ni-chan," she answered. "I didn't know you had 2 older siblings," asked Mizuki. "I don't, the ones who taught me was Naruto Nai-chan and Blake Ni-chan," she replied, as it was the most obvious thing in the world, which stunned both Mizuki and Iruka. "Wait, hold up, you mean the Mizuki pointed at Naruto and Blake taught you?" Then he pointed at Hinata the Kage Bunshin, which is a forbidden jutsu. "Hi, they made me train my chakra reserves and control before they taught me how," as the 2 instructors dumbly nodded Hinata. This means Naruto and Blake already passed the Bunshin part then," said Iruka. "Yeah, I guess, goddammit, I was supposed to trick him in getting the forbidden scroll when he failed. How in the hell did he learn Kage Bunshin anyway?" he thought as he continued to mentally curse the blonde. "So do you have a jutsu you want to perform?" Iruka asked. Hi, as she walked over near the lake and yelled Suiton. "Water dragon bullet no jutsu," as the water near her and began to shape as a dragon and she blasted at the nearby and destroying multiple trees. Everyone's jaw dropped to their lowest except Naruto and Blake, they can't believe what she just did. Both the chunin were thinking the same thing, did she just perform the A-rank jutsu, still racking their brain in how she made a huge water dragon. "So sensei, did I pass?" she said with a smile. Yeah, you pass. One question thought, "How did you learn that jutsu?" Iruka questioned Hinata and again gave him a smile as she turned her head on 2 people, seeing as he saw her head turn to his other 2 students. "They're becoming monsters," frantically thought anyway, good job, as he handed over her headband. "Next, Blake Belladonna." "Good luck, kitty," Naruto cheering for Blake. "Good luck, Nichan," as Hinata passed her. "Don't worry, I'll pass," and she did as he performed the 3 basic jutsu. They said she didn't need Blake to perform the Kage Bunshin, but still did. Now they almost shit their pants when Blake transformed into the Shinigami, scaring almost all of them, while the others didn't know what she transformed to. Interesting CC choice," Blake's and Iruka stuttered and still fearing what Blake transformed into. After a few or so minutes he regained his composure. "Do you have a jutsu you want to perform?" "Hi, can I use an original?" she asked. An original? When did you create an original?" This time it was Mizuki. "Oh, 2 years ago when Naruto created it," she answered. "You mean even Naruto has his own original?" Iruka dropped everything he was holding in his hands. "Of course, I think he created 2 of them," she said, looking at the sky that looked like she was thinking. "TTTT2 what rank are they again?" asked Iruka. "You'll have to see them personally later," she suggested as they just dumbly nodded. "Here I go." She began to make multiple hand signs and yelled Raiden. Spear of the Thunder God. At first it was just a ball of light, but soon cackled and formed into a gained spear that was 5 feet long. She gripped the spear of pure energy and threw it in the middle of the lake so it won't injure the others. As soon as the spear got in contact it explodes into a pillar of light, with lightning surging at the edges with a good 50 feet in diameter. The spectators were gawking at the jutsu she just used in fear, awe, jealousy, and admiration for the technique, but the Uchiha was once again thrashing in his mind in anger. That technique should be mine, with it I can finally kill him, Duckbutt thought, while clenching his fist hard. What the hell was that, Iruka shouted with the others nodding in agreement. Oh, that was the jutsu I made, she was about to continue, but the Hokage and several Anbu appeared in a panic. Iruka, what happened? Where did that pillar of light come from? The Hokage demanded. Well, you see, Iruka looked at Blake, and so did the others. You mean Blake-san here was the one responsible for the pillar of light? He again asked. Hey Gigi, and yes it was, it's a technique I made, Blake said. And Naruto also made one, yes. Preparing for the worst. Yes, actually he made two. You two are going to be the death of me someday, he shook his head. Anyway, as I was saying, my technique is called Speak of the Thunder God. It uses both the electric current that's lingering in the air, as well as my own, to condense it in a ball shape, then fixing its structure of the ball of condensed lightning into a spear for more piercing power, rather than just a blunt explosion. Why not, Iruka asked. Because if I just throw it as it is, it won't go too far, resulting in getting caught in the explosion, but if I structured the shape into a spear, it would literally cut through the wind pressure, making it fly further than its ball form, she explained. Like Kami, that's easily S-rank, Hiruzen gasped. The Hokage and several Anbu was flabbergasted at the creation of the technique, as it was simple but dangerous and complex. Now it was the Anbu that spoke. This Anbu was wearing the standard Anbu clothes with a cat mask and purple flowing hair. Her name was Yugao Yuzuki. Can I ask something, she said. Sure. How many times can you use it, and can anyone use it, she said, intrigued by the destructive power of the technique as did the others. First, only 3 times since it drains huge amount of chakra and high affinity towards lightning. Second, no you can't, even if you have lightning affinity, my jutsu can only be used one as it leaves the person with chakra exhaustion, she answered. Interesting. I should stay put if Naruto also performed a jutsu that's highly destructive, the Hokage looking at his surrogate grandson with a nervous smile. You bet, Gigi, Naruto madly grinned, that sent shivers down their spines. Congratulations, Blake, as he handed her handband. Okay then, now Naruto Uzumaki, he did the usual substituting with a log, he also performed Kage Bunshin and transformed them into Shodai, Nidai, Sandai, and for himself the Yondai Hokage. It's kinda scary how much they resemble each other, thought Hiruzen. Do you also have a original Naruto, Iruka asked calmly, but in his head, he was scared shitless at what's Naruto's gonna perform. Yep, weaving through hand signs and yelled Fuden. Vortex Destroyer, as he reached out his hands and his palms on top of the other in an X shape as it's gathering wind in his palm. He shot out a huge tornado vortex that was getting bigger and bigger, that it decimated the trees at the other side of the lake, and again weaved hand signs, and again perform another jutsu that he made Fuden. Dragon's Rage, as several dragon-shaped wind appeared behind his back. He waved his arm and moved his body as the wind dragons followed his lead, destroying anything he wanted to without stopping. He looks like he was dancing among the wind itself. He finally stopped when he felt he used up 30% of his chakra, and looking at them, like Blake, fear, awe, jealousy, and admiration was shown on their faces for the others, them simply fainted. A single line was going through everyone's mind right now, what the hell, they all thought, and another, those 3 are monsters. Those jutsus should be mine, an elite, an Uchiha, none of them deserves those jutsus, the Uchiha thought angrily. Naruto, can you explain what those jutsus are, said Hiruzen as he shouted the last part as he waved his arms above his head. My original jutsu. My first jutsu is called Vortex Destroyer, it follows the same principle as Kitty's Spear of the Thunder God. I was compressing huge amount of air in the area with my own chakra so it won't deplete the rest for our breathing, and shot it all out at once, giving its destructive results. Also, as the vortex travels, it also absorbs wind in its path to making it bigger. As for my other jutsu, it's called Dragon's Rage. This jutsu makes me control the wind around me and manifest it into the form of a dragon. I'm also channeling the same chakra in my body, with the same chakra that I gave my wind dragons to, so I can wield the wind dragons to act as my weapons and shield. So there you have it, Naruto finished his explanation. All of them were gobsmacked, they couldn't believe both of them created 3 S-rank jutsus, and they were just 13 for Kami's sake. I'm kinda having second thoughts on my plan, thought Mizuki. He was now officially scared shitless at those 3. You know what, I'm not going to comment on them anymore. Iruka proceeded as the Hokage and the still gaping Anbu left the training ground. Congrats, Naruto, as he handed him his hemband. I'm proud of all of you, from now on you are proud ninjas of Konoha. We will meet again in the academy in 3 days for team assignments. The three were about to leave, but was stopped by Choji accompanied by Shikamaru, Shino, Kiba, and Ino. Hey guys, wanna celebrate our graduation at Yakiniku Q? Sure, we were about to eat anyway, replied Naruto. Sure, why not, said Blake in a slight monotone. What about Uchiha and Haruno, said Hinata. Clearly he hated the two. The emo already left with Sakura behind his tail, said Kiba. Anyway, he was about to flirt with Hinata but was stopped by her overprotective older brother and sister figure. Kiba, if you lay hand on Hinata, I'll use an air bullet on you ass, he threatened, making Kiba sweating bullets. If you did, I'll hang you upside down on the branch of the tree naked and castrate you with a rusty spoon, Blake continued on the threat with a sickly sweet smile, and instead sweating bullets he is now as white as a ghost. Note to self. Never hit on Hinata with two overpowered people protecting her with every male present, thinking. Naichin, please, I can take care of myself, she pouted and blushed, getting a chuckle from both of them. Never safe than sorry, Naruto smiled at her. I've been wondering why Hinata calls you two brother and sister. Asked Ino. Oh, me and Naruto was about to go home, but we found Hinata being bullied, so when we saved her she was really happy. As we continue to hang out, she's been slowly calling us that. Ever since then me and Naruto kinda got overprotective of her, Blake said with a slight blush, because of their overprotectiveness of Hinata. So you and Naruto and Hinata were holding back throughout the academy then, said Shikamaru. Pretty much, said the three in unison. They looked at each other and laughed. Troublesome classmates. The others just nodded. Anyway, Yakiniku, here we come, yelled Choji as they marched to Yakiniku Q. 3 days later. It's been 3 days since the Genin exams. Naruto, Blake and Hinata continued to improve their skills that could go toe-to-toe with a mid-level jounin, but still low jounin overall. For them the mind is the strongest weapon, even Naruto, which surprised them. After the exam, Mizuki was captured for stealing the forbidden scroll by Anbu, since he can't trick Naruto successfully, so he did it himself, but paid for it anyway. The day was now team placements, as everyone that graduated was now excited on who their teammates were. As usual, the three walked to their classroom, which was still empty, and sat with each other when Hinata finally spoke up. Good thing you two didn't show them you light and shadow affinity. Got that right, if we did we'll be in a whole lot of trouble with the council, said Naruto. Especially with Captain Duckhead, added Blake, which they laughed at. Over the years Blake adopted his sense of humor from Naruto, even though how rarely she used her newly found sense of humor, though she is mostly serious with a semi-stoic face and get along with anybody who is friendly. I know Blake is a little different here, but hey, Naruto can change someone. Haha, that's a good one, kitty. Plus if Duckhead knew, he'll say something like, I demand you two to give me your power as I am an Uchiha and ultimately gay Uchiha, right, said Naruto. As he joked about the last part, they began to laugh even harder as people began to fill the room along with Iruka with a list of names and their teams, so they stopped laughing. Iruka-sensei, where's Mizuki-sensei, said Ino. Oh, Mizuki turned traitor for stealing the forbidden scroll and was captured by Anbu, he answered as all students gasped that their sensei was a traitor, with the exception of 3 and an emo. Serves him right to mention 3 though and Unsun. Now them on to you teams, Team 1 skipping 1 to 6, Team 7 Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura Haruno. Ta, take that, Ino, pig love conquers all, shrieked Sakura, making them all cover their ears, while Ino angered the provocation. Sakura, shut up, said their sensei, making her shut up. Good, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto banged his head over and over on the table. Something wrong, Naruto? What's wrong? Don't tell me what's wrong, Ruka-sensei. I got stuck with emo duck butt and pink banshee. Why wouldn't I bang my head, he said as he continued to bang his head on the table, as all students kinda pity him in some kind of way, especially Hinata and Blake. But I'm not finished yet, said Iruka, which perked Naruto's interest. The 4th member will be Blake Belladonna. This is the first time in our academy's history that we have 4 students in a team. At least I still have Kitty, but I think I need to create a seal for your ears, Kitty, he told Blake. Why? Do you want to go deaf from her screeching? He whispered as he pointed toward Sakura. Good point, as they saw Hinata sobbing a little, and since the two view her as a little sister, she actually played the part, even going far as to cry from being separated from her surrogate siblings. What's wrong, Hinata-chan? Because I won't be on the same team as Ni-chan and Nai-chan, she told Blake. Don't worry, Hina-chan, we'll see during our breaks or when we have joint training. But. No buts, Hinata said Blake sternly. Hi. Good, continue, Iruka-sensei, yelled Blake. Sure, Team 7 sensei will be Kakashi Haddock, said Iruka. At least we have Kakashi-san as our sensei, that's good, right? Said Blake, but being a little unsure. Yep, if you get over his attitude of being late I don't mind, Naruto replied as he worriedly looked towards Hinata. Don't worry, Hina-chan, I'm sure you'll have a great sensei. I hope so, Nai-chan. Teammate will be Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inyazuka, and Shino Aburame. Sensei will be Kurenai, he announced, Iruka, getting Hinata a little excited. Hey, that's good, Hinata, at least you have a mother figure as a sensei, said Naruto. "Ah, it's good that my sensei is Kurenai-san, she was always good to me," said Hinata. "At least we don't have to worry about Kiba when Kurenai-sensei's around," added Blake. Hi, Hinata smiled. Team 9 is still in circulation, Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akamichi, you sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. "At least I'm not in a team with forehead," said Ino looking at the bright side. "What did you say?" Ino pig in a normal voice. "Oh shut it already," she sighed as they all started to murmur or chatting with each other. The fangirls case complained that they weren't on their precious Asu-kun's team. "That will be all, now wait for your jounin instructors to come in." As he walked out of the classroom and they all began to chat with their respective team, with the exception of Team 7 since Naruto and Blake tried to talk to them but failed, really they tried. Sasuke scoffed and ignored them while Sakura was telling them to go away. After 10 minutes has passed, several jounin came through the door. But the most noticeable one were a female jounin where she has ruby-colored eyes with black wavy hair with mid-back length and with her outfit that looks like bandages but can still over her more private areas. The second jounin sensei has a short black spiky hair with sideburns extending to his goatee, I think, with a regular jounin vest and is always smoking cigar. The red-eyed woman looked around for teammate, with me as Hinata, Kiba, and Shino followed before being stopped by Blake. "Kurenai-sensei, take care of Hinata for us," she said in a semi-monotone voice with Kurenai nodded in agreement as Hinata waved goodbye. "Team 10 with me," yelled the man with the cigar as Ino, Shikamaru and Choji followed the man. "Good luck guys," Naruto waved at them as they waved back, even Shikamaru with him saying troublesome hey kitty. "What? Wanna go eat for a while? He'll take about 2.5 hours to get us." "Why not, besides I don't want to get stuck here listening to her rambling or screaming for the next few hours," as she pointed at Sakura getting a nod from Naruto as they got up and starts to leave. "Hey, where are you two going?" "Iruka-sensei said to wait for our sensei," said Sakura. At first she was about to shout but remembered Blake's threat. "We're just going to go eat lunch," replied Blake. "HMPF go ahead, me and Sasuke-kun are not gonna get punished because you two aren't here when sensei comes," she argued as the two of them proceeded to Ichiraku's. "Does she ever shut up?" whined Naruto. No she doesn't," replied Blake with a smirk on her face. "Besides I should be the one complaining." "You have a point, considering you extra ears. By the way, when are you going to reveal them?" "I don't know, knowing this village I don't really know." She was saddened by it, since she can't reveal them, she feels like she was lying to herself as she began to tear up a little. "Don't worry kitty, once you decided to reveal it, I'll be there for you," as he began comforting Blake. "I know you will, and thank you for being my friend." Whiskers as she dried her tears. "Anytime kid, anytime." 2 hours and 20 minutes later, Academy. More than 2 hours already passed since Blake and Naruto left the two to do their own thing as they walked back to the classroom finding a really irritated and angry Haruno and a more brooding Uchiha. "Where is he?" screamed Sakura, irritated that their sensei is late. "We've been waiting for 2.5 hours. As if on cue, a man with grey hair-defying hair with his hideaye covered his left eye, or was it right, with a mask that covered half of his face and wearing a standard Anbu pants and jounin vest. "Sorry I'm late," he ended with an eye smile. "You're late. HN. Don't worry about it, Kakashi-san," said Blake. "Yeah, don't worry about it, I bet you got lost in the road of life. Happened to most of us," added Naruto. It caused the Kakashi to smile while his other two teammates stare at him in disbelief. "My impression on all of you is that I hate y'all except for those two, I like them. Now meet me on the roof in 5 minutes," he said before he shunshined to the roof. "Well, what are you two waiting for? Let's go," said Naruto as he shunshined in a gust of wind with Blake in a flash of lightning which irked the Uchiha. 5 minutes later, the Sasuke and Sakura came through the door tired and sweating and found their sensei and their two teammates casually chatting with each other before they could say anything. "Now that we're all here, let's introduce ourselves," said Kakashi. "What do you mean, sensei?" said Sakura. And she's supposed the smart one, they all thought. "What I mean is you likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams and all that. Why don't you start, sensei?" "Fine, my name is Kakashi Haddock, my likes are a lot, my dislikes are none of your business, my hobbies you are too young to know, my dreamish haven't thought of it yet." "We only got his name." The two sweat dropped. "Typical Kakashi sensei," the other two thought with a smile on their face. "Okay you pinky." She frowned at the name. "My name is Sakura Haruno, my likes are." He looked at Sasuke and squealed. "My hobbies are." She again looked at Sasuke and squealed. "My dreams are same, my dislikes are Ino Pig and Naruto Baka." "Oh great, offend your me, why?" Kakashi mentally wailing the last part. "Oh no, Sakura hates me, whatever will I do?" said Naruto sarcastically and with Blake and Kakashi snickering. "Okay, next the Emo Duck King." He got some laughs. "HN, name Sasuke Uchiha, I don't have likes and I have many dislikes, hobbies are training, my dream no, my ambition is to revive my clan and kill a certain someone. Great, I have an emo avenger on my team, Juice. Great." Before he looked at the other two, "At least I have those two. Okay, next kitty." My name is Blake Belladonna, my like are Tuna, Naruto, Gigi, and my friends, Hinata-chan. My dislikes are perverts, rapists, people who are arrogant and egotistic. My hobbies are training, fishing and reading books, and my dream is to become the most powerful and respected Kunoichi in the elemental nations. But at least you're normal, getting a glare from the first two. Now onto you Sir Whiskers, giving Naruto a mockbow, getting a snicker from Blake, which Naruto delightfully retaliated. Thank you my faithful servant, now call me Naruto-sama, he declared with a smug grin. He got you there sensei, said Blake while holding her laughter. But he did, now I feel kind of stupid for saying it, with him giving Naruto a mock glare anyway. Introductions please. Sure, the name's Uzumaki Naruto, my likes are ramen, kitty, Gigi, Hina-chan, my friends, my dislikes are well the same as kitty, and people who can't even tell between a kunai and a ceiling scroll. Hobbies are training and gardening, and reading books, since kitty forced me to read some. My dream is to be the strongest shinobi, so I can protect my precious people. What about becoming a Hokage Naruto? Questioned Kakashi. I have my reasons Kakashi-sensei, and one of them are mostly from this village, he answered. Kakashi knew of this reason of his, and he respects that decision. Okay Naruto, I understand anyway, we will have survival training Tomoro. What do you mean survival training, Kakashi-sensei, said a confused Sakura. Well, think of it like being an exam for you four to become Genin. What? Shouted Sakura, while Naruto and Blake kept quiet and Sasuke scoffed. But sensei, we already passed the exam, why do we have to go through it again? Ah, but the exam you four took is just to root out shinobi and kunoichi wannabes. My exam will be the real deal, with has a 66% chance of failing. Now then, meet at training ground 7 at 7 am, and don't be late, also don't eat breakfast if you don't want to puke, Jana, as he disappeared in a poof of smoke. Me and Kitty are gonna ignore those, Naruto muttered himself, strong enough for Blake to hear. Knowing him, he'll most likely to arrive 3 hours late, Blake whispered to herself as she looked at Naruto and nodded her. By the way, I'm cooking your favorite dish tonight, as Blake immediately turned her head to Naruto and drooled a bit, saying really over and over, okay calm down, and yes, I'm going to cook your favorite sweet and spicy tuna sandwich. Can you make 3? Sure, as they jumped towards their apartment while Sasuke just scoffed and walked towards his complex with Sakura behind him. Wait, let's check Hina-chan first, suggested Naruto, getting a nod from Blake. 10 minutes later they found Hinata walking with her sensei and Shino. Blake ran towards Hinata, giving her a hug. Hey Hinata-chan, as she continued to nuzzle Hinata. Ni-chan, stop it, it's embarrassing, as Hinata blushed from being hugged. No matter how confident Hinata got being with Blake and Naruto, she still retained her shy and bashful nature. Why, you're too adorable to not be hugged. You really are, said Kurenai. Not you too sensei, as Blake let her go. So Hina-chan want to come over for dinner? Said Naruto. Sorry Nai-chan, but I need to attend tonight's dinner with my family. It's no problem Hina-chan, as he also hugged Hinata. Say hi to your father and sister for us, okay? Hi. See guys later, as Naruto and Blake continued towards their apartment. They are interesting, my bugs was restless when they are near, said Shino. What do you mean Shino? Said Kurenai. They radiate power that is both scary and warm at the same time. That's just who they are, even though they have strength that could rival a Jounin, but doesn't flaunt it like the Uchiha. They would rather hide it, getting looks from both her sensei and teammate. But why would they rather hide it? They would get respect if they showed their strength, said Kurenai. Sensei, don't you see the looks from the people they sent to Nai-chan? As Kurenai now remembered the blonde's position. But why show it now since they want to hide it? Said Shino. Because they have enough strength to protect themselves from enemies outside and inside, and they would continue to grow strong, said Hinata in a determined voice. Enemies? I understand getting looks from Shino, it's not my place to say Shino, only Naruto and Hokage-sama can say it, getting a nod from Shino as they went their separate ways to their homes. Naruto and Blake's apartment. As they arrived, Naruto began to cook 6 sweet and spicy tuna sandwich, which he also enjoys, not just ramen. They are about to eat, but a knock was heard from their door. As Naruto opened the door, he saw an Anbu wearing a cat mask. Nico-chan, why are you here? Asked Naruto. Well, you and Blake have been summoned by the council, said Nico. Why? You know the usual, civilian. Ah, Kitty, we need to go to the council, he shouted towards the kitchen. Ah, can we bring food, she shouted back. I am not leaving my tuna, she added, which got a chuckle from Naruto and Nico. So can we? I don't know, said Nico. You know how mad Kitty gets when you separate her from her tuna, as they both remembered that certain day which they shivered in horror. Yeah, not the best idea, she can bring food, as she shined away. Hey Kitty, we can bring our food, as he got a loud yes, as they picked up the plates where the sandwiches are and proceeded to the tower after they locked the door. Council room. Konoha's village council, which consists of 2 sides, which are the Shinobi Council and the Civilian Council. To the Hokage's right side are the shinobi clan heads, which are the Hyuga, Yamanaka, Akimichi, Inyazuka, Aburame and the Nara. The Ashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan, father of Hinata Hyuga and Hanabi Hyuga, wife of the now deceased Hitomi Hyuga, strict but has a soft side towards his family, especially when his wife died. Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the Yamanaka clan and an interrogator in the T&I department, like most the rest of his clan, because of their abilities of being mindwalkers, and father of Ino Yamanaka, and owns a flower shop. Toza Akimichi, head of the Akimichi clan, like most of his clan, they are heavy fighters always in the front line because of their body expansion jutsu, and like heavy fighters, they are also heavy eaters. There's a taboo of making fun of their figure. Tsume Inyazuka, head of the Inyazuka clan, mother of Kiba Inyazuka, their clan consists of tracker nin and hunter nin, because of their heightened sense of smell and hearing with their nin dogs as their partners. Shibi Aburame, head of the Aburame clan, like most of their clan they use their bodies as hives to store bugs to fight with, these bugs drains their opponents of chakra and is deadly when they are fighting at long range, since they're mostly helpless once the opponents gets close. Shikaku Nara, head of the Nara clan, they specialize in capture type missions because of their usage of shadow type jutsu, mostly they are used for stopping enemies in their tracks, and also their abnormally high intellect which seems to be genetic, they strategize, form plans while on the battlefield to turn the tide of battle to their favor, and they are also lazy as hell. To the Hokage's left are the civilian council, which consist of some of the wealthiest people in Konoha, which are merchants and politicians. To his sides are his old teammates and current advisors, which are Himura Midokado and Kaharu Udatane, and also his rival Danzo Shimura, leader of an unofficial Anbu organization called Root. Though he actually liked the blonde, for him he is like a grandson to him, plus for him he noticed that as long as you have his trust and he will return it with loyalty, besides as long as he protects Konoha, he doesn't mind that he is the host of the Kyuubian. Yay, the Danzo here is good. As they arrived they wondered why Uchiha Sasuke was present with smirk on his face, but they have a guess why he is here, which is spot on, of course they brought their food, much to the ire of the civilian side and the elders. So why were we called Jiji? Said Naruto while Blake was munching on her food. How dare you, show Hokage-sama respect, said a civilian. That's alright, he respects me on his own way, besides the only times you civilian respect me is when Naruto-kun is here, so don't talk about respect if you can't even respect my decisions, as he blasted a huge amount of kai onto the said civilian which he was grasping for air. Now tell me the reason why this meeting was called, and I don't want to hear from any of you to demanding anything from Naruto and Blake if it is. This meeting is over. All who called the meeting were now sweating heavily, as they planned to make Naruto and Blake give their jutsus to the Uchiha, so talk. We want that Brad and his friend here to teach those jutsus they made to Uchiha-sama, said an arrogant civilian, while the shinobi side just facepalmed at his demand. Okay, this meeting is over, said an irritated Hokage, and with equally irritated clan heads. Oh come on, we came here for nothing, whined Naruto, while both of them were still munching on their food. There's nothing we can do, Whiskers, besides I'd rather be at home than here, Blake told to Naruto, which he agreed on. Yes, you're right, so Jiji, can we go now? He asked the Hokage. Sure Naruto-kun, you and Blake can go now, as they nodded and left. Damn it, we just wasted good time for this farce, said the Inyazuka head. I know, and I have dinner with my family today, said the Hyuga head. I was in the middle of eating dinner and you people dragged me away from my food, said the Akimichi head with a tint of kai in it. I was spending time with my family, said the Yamanaka head solemnly. This was a waste of time, said the Aburame head, with all heads agreeing. My wife's going to kill me for this. Shikaku paled when he was forced to stop his special time with his wife, now he'll just get a frying pan to the head with friends, which is Inoichi, and Choza just felt sorry for him. Sigh, why did I want to be Hokage again if it's to deal with this, Danzo muttered to himself, which didn't go unnoticed by Hiruzen, which he smiled. As all clan head and the Hokage left, the Uchiha was fuming in rage that he couldn't get what he wants, the same with the other side of the council, along with the elders, with the exception of Danzo. Damn, it was the only thought of the Avenger emo. AN. Sorry, no bashing for now, maybe in the later chapters. Next day 7 AM. Training ground 7. Both Sakura and Sasuke waited for their other two teammates and their sensei to arrive, which they didn't know that the three of them will come late. Naruto and Blake's apartment. Both woke up from their sleep as Naruto began to cook their breakfast, which is a simple bread, bacon, rice and egg with coffee or tea, while Blake took a shower. As she finished showering, Naruto was next. She waited for him to finish showering before they ate their food. They looked at the time that it was now 8:30 AM. So we have an hour left before Kakashi-sensei gets there. What do you want to do? Said Naruto. I don't know, that I think about it, I haven't finished the late Ichi yet, muttered Blake. Oh yay, I only finished half of it, so wanna read before we head out? Yup, as they began to read and giggled perversely, then Blake looked at Naruto and was thinking, how can I tell that I like him? Ugh, this is so frustrating, as she looked back at her book. Without her knowing that Naruto was also taking glances at Blake. What's wrong with me? What is this feeling in my chest whenever I look at Kitty? He just sighed and shrugged it off, thinking that he's just nervous about Kakashi's exam. Ahahamir, you naughty girl, was the collective thoughts of Blake and Naruto while giggling perversely. 40 minutes has passed since they began reading. They closed their own books as they nodded at each other. Well, this is it, time to go, said Blake as they ran to the training ground their sensei said for their exams. Training ground 7. They arrived in 10 minutes with another 10 minutes to spare. The two were sitting on a tree hiding their presence, reluctant to show in front of the other two because of 2 reasons. 1, they'll get a screeching of a lifetime from Sakura. 2, they would rather read their book for the next few minutes, so they make an obvious choice. They read their book until Kakashi arrives. 10 minutes later Kakashi arrived, with Naruto and Blake behind him still reading their book. You 3 are late, shouted Sakura, which Blake winced. Hey Whiskers, when are you going to finish that seal? I might go deaf before you finished it, said Blake before Naruto could reply. The 3 of them began hearing 2 stomach rumbling. Did you 2 ate breakfast, said they sensei. Yep, both of them replied. Why? We're not stupid, no one wants to go to a battlefield on an empty stomach, said Blake, with Kakashi nodded at their logic. Well, the 2 were embarrassed. Well, Sakura is, Sasuke just doesn't want to admit it. Also, I still need 3 days to finish it, since I need to put different levels of volume, so you can adjust the seal whenever you want, especially when we're on missions or whenever we're around screamers, he whispered, which he got a nod from Blake, with a tint of blush about Naruto, saying screamers, which got her thinking things. Why were you too late? Asked Sakura. Well, we figured the Kakashi sensei will be late for another 2.5 hours, since he was also late yesterday, so we figured why not arrive at the same time or 10 minutes early, Blake wisely said. Well, you 2 should have waited with us. Sakura, we're not idiots, if he was late yesterday why wouldn't he do the same thing today? Fan, what are you 2 reading? Wanna see, said Naruto as she walked to him and read over his shoulder and read a couple of sentences and immediately adorning an atomic blush, which she fainted for a few seconds before getting back up. So what do you think? Why you T2 are reading smut, she stuttered along with a blush. It's not smut, it's art, the 3 yelled, yes, including their sensei who looked at them. Hahaha, I knew I like you too. It seems I have 2 book buddies, said Kakashi, even though he already knew about them reading Icha, but still playing along for the heck of it. Sakura looked at the 3 of them in disbelief. She couldn't believe 2 of her teammates and her sensei is reading smut, while Sasuke just scoffed. Anyway, let's start your exam, as he brought up 3 bells. You 4 need to get these bells from me. But sensei, there's only 3 bells. You're right, there's only 3 bells, meaning one of you will fail and will be sent back to the academy. What all Genin shouted, well, for the 2 they just joined for the heck of it. You have 2 hours to get this bell from me, so come at me with killing intention, as they all hide from the Jounin. He spotted 2 of the 4 Genins. Sakura's stealth is almost second to none, maybe because of her pink hair. Sasuke has good stealth, but not good enough, he gives out too many hints, but Blake and Naruto's stealth is outstanding. They completely suppressed their chakra, especially Blake, not only her chakra, but she completely erased her presence. He brought his hand to his weapon pouch. The 2 Genin began to tense up, while the other 2 began snickering, as they couldn't wait for their teammates' reaction. He finally pulled a familiar orange book which the Uchiha and Haruno duo facifaulted. Naruto dashed towards Blake, was hiding. Kitty, we need to get Sasuke and Sakura. Why? We need teamwork for this exam. I know Sakura is willing, but Sasuke might need a little motivation to help us in our plan, which he got a nod from Blake. Blake dashed towards Sakura, telling her of their plan to pass. She sneaked up on Sakura, startling her a little bit. Blake, don't do that, why are you here anyway? Blake sighed, we need to work together to get those bells. Don't worry, I'm sure Sasuke-kun's going to get those bells for us. Blake again sighed at her one-tracked mind. Sakura, do you really believe a Genin like us can take on a seasoned veteran Jounin, especially one who joined the Third Great War? As realization struck Sakura's mind. No. Good, Whiskers is getting Sasuke to work with us, for now we need to regroup, as Sakura nodded and followed Blake and proceeded to the rendezvous point. Minutes later, Naruto found Sasuke with a kunai at hand. Sasuke, he whispered, which Sasuke heard and prepared to attack, only to find Naruto. What are doing here, dope? We need to work together to get those bells. I don't need help, I'm an Uchiha, we are elite, I can beat a no-name Jounin without any of your help. Are you seriously saying that right now? He's Kakashi Haddock, a war veteran, and he survived the Third Great War. What can Genin fresh out of the academy do about that? Listen Sasuke, I don't like you and you don't like me, but I want to be a shinobi, and we need to work together to pass, even if it means working together. I don't need you and any others' help, the Uchiha clan are the greatest, even if he's a veteran, he can't stand before the power of the Uchiha. He smugly smirked before he leapt down from the tree and charged at Kakashi. Idiot, as both Blake and Sakura appeared. Where's Sasuke-kun? Said Sakura. Being an idiot, he charged at Kakashi-sensei by himself. He pointed at the two fighting figures. Damn it, it seems it comes down to us three, said Blake. What about Sasuke-kun? If we don't help him, he'll fail. Don't worry about that, Sakura, even if he wasn't included in the plan, he'll still pass. What do you mean? What Kitty means is, even if he failed and us three passes, I'm sure Kakashi-sensei will give us a second chance for all of us to pass. Why would he do that? Sakura, have you ever wondered why everything is given to him on a silver platter, jutsus, teachers, praise? It's like the people of this village worships him as a god for Kami's sake. Now that you pointed it out, it actually seems that way, but I'm wondering, why? It's because of the civilian council, they're giving him everything, spoiling him rotten to ensure his so-called loyalty for the village, and because of his oh-so-almighty Sharingan. This time it was Blake. Don't talk about Sasuke-kun like that. Sakura, think about it, have you ever seen him being nice to someone? He always degrade everyone that isn't from his clan, and he is always using his clan status to get everything he wants. I too know, it's just you know what, you're right, why did I ever fall for him? He's the reason why my friendship with Ino ended, he never returns our feelings. After this I'm going to apologize to Ino, which got the two to smile. Good, now you need to train yourself to be a true kunoichi, also eat more. But I'll get fat, she whined as both Naruto and Blake rolled their eyes. Sakura, we train every day, as we train we grow strong, as we train we gain experience, and most important for you is, every time we train we burn calories, so we don't have problems with getting fat, which got a nod from Sakura. They're still going to make that seal, Blake whispered to Naruto. I know. Now that settled, here's the plan, as Naruto explained his strategy in getting the bells. Unnoticed by them, Kakashi heard everything in their little discussion, which got him to smile, except for their plans of course, as he wanted to be surprised. Sasuke rushed towards Kakashi trying to stab his stomach, which Kakashi turned to his right to avoid the kunai, then he grabbed his wrist as he redirected Sasuke's charge, making him slam himself to a tree face first. He got up again, but this time he threw multiple shuriken and kunais at him, hitting him successfully, but Kakashi replaced himself with a log. Kakashi was behind him making a tiger sign, which the three started to worry. Before they could rush in to help the Uchiha, Kakashi plunged his fingers up his ass, making him scream like a girl at the top of his lungs, which the three stared, then chuckled, and then a full-blown laughter, except for Sakura, as she only stared at disbelief. After a minute of laughing they started their plan in getting those bells. But Sasuke was still not finished yet, as he made a couple of hand signs. He yelled out Kaiten. Great fireball in rage, pumping half of his chakra on the jutsu, making him a bit dizzy. At Kakashi's disbelief that a genin can use the great fireball jutsu, but not as much because he knew two other genins that can do a lot more, he immediately used Doten. Double suicide decapitation to avoid the incoming fireball. After the fire starts dying down, he only saw scorch marks, and his body began to tense, whereas he left. Right back above. As Sasuke looked up and found nothing before his foot was grabbed by a hand. Wrong, below. Kakashi began pulling Sasuke down to the ground until his head was left. Always look underneath Sasuke-chan, which the boy frowned. Release me at once, I am an Uchiha, I deserve to pass, he ranted, which forced Kakashi to leave, as he didn't want to deal with him ranting the same thing over and over. He ran to another clearing waiting for the other three to make a move. In the bushes, okay you two, it's showtime, as two figures jumped out of their hiding spots. The black-haired one attacks Kakashi's back while the blonde in front. Sir. Unusual but not uncommon, thought Kakashi. He need to think fast, as a large blade incoming to his torso, while a scythe is coming for his legs. He substituted with a log fast enough to avoid being mutilated by the two weapons. He was sweating but unnautical by some, thinking holy shit, when I said come at me with killing intent, they literally did. Where's Sakura? 3 shurikens suddenly burst out of the bushes. Support, if trained maybe a support medic nin. Lake ran back to the forest to hide since stealth is her strongest attribute, while Naruto continues his barrages of swings and stabs using his Zanbatsu without stopping. With every swings, creates a melody of some sort, hence the name Blood Song. Naruto heard a whistle and proceeded to use and yelled Futen. Great breakthrough, flinging Kakashi towards the forest where Blake and Sakura are located. Kakashi was in the middle of the forest in their training ground. He then remembered that Blake has the power to travel through shadows and looked around, as there are numerous shadows created from the trees that got him tense, but can still see where Blake will travel, as the shadows from the surrounding areas are much lighter than Blake's shadow, which is pitch black, but that is where Sakura comes in. Her role as support is casting a minor Jinjutsu on Kakashi, so he won't detect any. The Jinjutsu placed on him is to see every shadow has the same tint, no more, no less in color, making Blake's shadow undetectable. as Naruto burst out of the bushes and continued his attacks on him with his sword and projectiles, distracting him enough for Blake to get the bells. Blake successfully got the bells from Kakashi without him noticing. She also replaced them with bells of her own. Now they only need to fight him until time runs out. Pity, Sakura, leave this to me. Go to the next point. He saw Blake and Sakura nodded their head. You think you can handle me, Naruto-kun? Even if I train both you and Blake, you two still lack experience. We may lack experience, but we'll make it up for teamwork. Will. For three of us anyway, as he made hand signs to use air bullet but was interrupted by Kakashi throwing several kunais at him, making Naruto stop at what he was doing. True. Kakashi tried to knee Naruto on the face but was blocked by one of Naruto's taijutsu stance, which Kakashi rubbed his knee in pain as Naruto holstered his sword at his back and began to take on Kakashi in a full-blown taijutsu battle. Naruto formed his hands like a spear and trying to pierce Kakashi's shoulder, but he substituted with a rock which was destroyed, but it hurt Naruto in the process, but not too bad, thank God his body is practically metal from all the training he did. Kakashi appeared at Naruto's back, crouch and sweep Naruto's leg, causing him to stumble, but able to kept his balance when he touched the ground with his hand and flagged away from Kakashi, performing hand signs and yelling Futon. Air bullet at Kakashi hitting him in the chest, making him groan at the pain. Naruto saw the signal and retreated towards his two teammates. Hey kitty, Sakura, you two ready? Naruto asked. Good to go, Whiskers. Same here. But I'll face him head to keep him away from you two. Kitty will attack whenever there's an opening. Sakura will provide long-range support, he instructed. Roger, the two girls shouted, with Kakashi appeared in the clearing. You really improved on your Futon jutsus, Naruto. Hell yeah, wait till I really let loose before he was scolded by Blake. Whiskers. We can't use them yet. But you used yours earlier, he whined. No, but we can't attract attention yet, especially when he's looking. He pointed at the Uchiha still buried with hate in his eyes. Besides, no one was looking except Sakura. I already told her that I made it accidentally, which she bought it. Sigh, good point, still I'm itching to use it. Oh, grow up, we still have an exam to finish. As Naruto dashed towards Kakashi as he performed a spear towards Kakashi's legs, but he grabbed Naruto's wrist and jumped, intending to knee Naruto head, but was interrupted when multiple projectiles were thrown at him courtesy of Sakura, while Blake got behind him as he tackled him with her shoulder, making Kakashi fly at the opposite side, groaning at the impact, but she didn't finish there. She ran towards Kakashi and grabbed him by his neck while he was still disoriented by her tackle. With a couple of hand signs she yelled Raiden. Lightning Rod. It was really confusing when I saw Lightning Rod was called Hiraishin in the anime manga, so I just go with it. If you want confirmation, just look it up on Google, as high volts of electricity ran through her body, hurting Kakashi in the process. Kakashi quickly gave Blake an elbow to her stomach, making her let go of her hold on him. Sakura got an opportunity to throw her kunai and shurikens at him, an explosion tag hidden in the barrages of projectilesan. I'm going to at least give her some skills, no matter how little they are, at the beginning of her career, making him wide-eye. When he saw the explosion tag mix in Oshai was all he can say before the explosion. The three looked at where he was but saw no sign of him. Oh my god. I killed Kakashi-sensei. She quickly panicked but calmed down by the two. Calm down, Sakura, I can still sense him, said Blake. Guys, keep your guard up, said Naruto as they nodded, while a certain brooding emo saw the whole thing and his face is showing both jealousy and rage. How are they so strong? That power should be mine, even that useless of a fangirl is faring better than me. Sakura, keep up with the long-range support and keep an eye out, she nodded. Blake, strike every chance you get while he has eyes on me, Blake also nodded. Voila, as he struck the ground with his sword and channeled huge amount of wind chakra to make the ground explode outwards. Kakashi was his only eye widen at the fact that Naruto has gone with his wind manipulation, that he was distracted for a second, deal with him in a frontal assault. Blake took that chance to hop from flying rock after rock until she appeared in front of Kakashi as she did a hand slash with her arma, but Kakashi reacted accordingly with a kunai intercept the incoming blade hand. Like him, Blake also reacted to this. No matter how hard her hands become, it still made of flesh and blood, which she retracted immediately, which Kakashi saw as he jumped on one of the flying rocks and jumped towards Blake in midair. Sakura followed up by throwing 6 kunais at their sensei to distract him long enough for Blake to get away. They all landed safely staring at each other, waiting for someone to move, which Naruto delightfully obliged as he rushed towards his sensei with his sword unsheathed, preparing for an overhead strike until they heard a ring, with Naruto stopped at his charge. Well, looks like your time's up, seeing as you all didn't get a bell, all of you 5 before he heard bells ringing. How do you those bells? You remember Whiskers attacking you in the forest, don't you? He nodded. Well, before that I made 2 shadow clones and hinged them into bells similar of what you showed when Naruto attacked you in the forest. We made Sakura get you into a minor genjutsu which disrupted eyes, since one of my jutsus is pitch black when I travel where the surrounding is light in color, but enough of that, when she cast her genjutsu and Whiskers is distracting you with his attacks. I took the time to switch my hinged clones for you bells without you noticing. After that we just you know the rest. Blake happily explained. So what are you gonna do with him? Naruto pointed towards a still buried Uchiha. I'll tie him to a wooden post and tell you 4 to not feed him. And? If you feed him when I say don't feed him then you pass, if not I'll just take you 3 and fail him, consequences be damned. If he doesn't pass the 4 of us will get in trouble with the council, don't we? Well, just the civilian and elders anyway, no offense Sakura, said Blake. Why? A confused Sakura. Well, your mother is one of the people who kinda spoiled Sasuke to the point people worshipping him as a god and one of the many people who hates Naruto. Why would my mom hates Naruto? I know he's obnoxious and annoying and always pulling pranks, but why would my mom and the people hate him other than his pranks? That's a story for another time, I'll tell when I'm ready, okay Sakura? Okay. Now then let me get him while you 3 take a rest, you deserved it, be the way act surprised when I pass you all, said Kakashi. He walked over to a buried Uchiha as he put his hands on his head and pulled him out like it was nothing. He still has his hands on his head and walked over one of the wooden posts and began tying him up. Now, what I'm gonna say to you 4L3 is that Naruto, Blake, and Sakura did an excellent job. Naruto, you did a great job at distracting and leading the other as well as your Taijutsu and Kinjutsu and even the timing of your jutsus. Blake, you did an excellent job on stealth and surprise attacks as well as being the striker of your team and good use of your travel jutsu to replace my bells with yours. Sakura, you also did a good job as a support. Your throwing skills still need some improvement, also I think I'll call on Kurenai to give you some Genjutsu scrolls for practice, but I think you more of a medic, so I'll tell Hokage-sama to let you work at the Hospital for a while to work on you medical jutsus, as long as you train you'll be at their level in about 3 to 4 years. They all smiled at his comments, especially Sakura, since it was the first time she was praised for something other than her book smarts. But, you Sasuke are a disappointment, you rush in without a plan, reckless, brash, and also short-tempered, but most of all, your pride, it's the most troublesome thing that a person can have, it can cloud your judgment, look others below you, and most of all it will get you killed. So what, I'm an Uchiha, of course lowly commoners are below me, Kakashi sighed at this. Okay then, you 3 can have lunch, don't give Sasuke any food or I'll fail all of you. No, I need to report to the Hokage, said Kakashi. They all nodded as he shunshined out of existence and into a tree observing Sasuke. All 3 began eating more so than Sakura, since she heeded the advice of her 2 teammates, while they heard rumbling noises from Sasuke. Like Kakashi said, they'll give the Uchiha a chance. If he doesn't take it, they'll be more than happy to let him fail. The 3 of them moved to where Sasuke was tied up and offered food. Here Sasuke, we know you're hungry with all the noise your stomach was making. And I don't need your pity. Don't be stubborn Sasuke, do you really want to fail? Sasuke began to think, if he fails then he can't get his revenge. He was reluctant to get help, but he has little to no choice. Fine, as he ate the food that the other 3 offered when a puff of smoke startled the Uchiha. You 3 disobeyed a direct order from your superior. For that I have no, you 3 he said with his signature eye smile, which the 3 pretended to act surprised with a confused Uchiha. What do you mean we pass? He said. The meaning of this test is all about teamwork. I have opted my friend's motto, which is those who break the rules are scum. That's true, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. That's why I value teamwork the most, rather than individual abilities. No training starts tomorrow at 7, same training ground. You sure you'll be on time, Kakashi-sensei, said Blake in all seriousness. Yep, he lied. Sakura get here at 9:30, instead, whispered Naruto. Why? Sensei said 7. Sakura, we've been over this, he's always late no matter what he says. Fine. Now Thini need to report to the Hokage. He was about to leave, but remembered something. Oh, forgot about something as he threw a kunai at the ropes that was holding Sasuke to the wooden post. Now then, now I leave. Hey kitty, Sakura wanna meet up with teammate to eat. The 2 girls looked at each other before shrugging it off and said sure. They roamed Konoha to find Hinata and the rest of her team when they saw them heading towards Yakiniku-Q, the same place they were going to eat. Boy, Hinata-chan, called out Naruto as Hinata was looking around where that voice came from and found them. Nai-chan, Ni-chan, and Sakura-san. As she asked the last name in confusion. Hinata, why did you call my name like it's a question? She asked back. Usually you chase after Sasuke after the exams finished or stalk him. Oh right. Well, Naruto and Blake kinda talked me out of it after explaining the pros and cons of going after Sasuke. And well, there are more cons than pros in it, and one of those cons is being a meat shield for him. She lodged nervously with Hinata's teammates looked at her like she has 2 heads. Wow, to think those two broke her obsession with Sasuke, Kiba whispered to Shino, which he just nodded while still looking at her with a blank stare. Oh good, though to think Nai-chan and Mi-chan broke your obsession with him, she told her bluntly, which Kiba just whispered to Shino. Hey, I'm me, exclaimed Naruto. Which is? Asked Sakura. Unpredictable, and black is somewhat unpredictable. Hey, what do you mean somewhat? Yelled Blake. You nothing. You anyway, you guys going to Yakiniku? Hell yeah, we aced our exam, boasted Kiba. Well, mostly due to Hinata, since our exam is a tracking one, logically she's our best pick in finding and dispelling genjutsus, said Shino. Oh come on you two, without you picking up chakra signatures and her scent I would never found sensei, said Hinata. What about you guys, what kind of exam did you three go through, asked Kiba. Let's talk it out while eating, said Blake as they walked in the restaurant and saw Team 10 at one table. Hey, it's Ino, Shika and Choji, said Naruto loudly, which said Team Herd. Oh hey, it's Team 7 and 8. Hey guys, over here, there's an extra table besides us, with Choji calling them over with said team sitting on the table besides them. Hey guys, how did your exam go, asked Kiba. Troublesome, it's an infiltration and capture mission, said Shikamaru with really sleep eyes. I'd rather lay down and look at cloud or just sleep, with the others rolling their eyes. Typical Nara. Yeah, Asuma sensei really made it hard for us, said Choji. How so? Said Shino. Planting traps like pits, kunai launchers and tripwires and so on. I mean come on, kunai launchers, who does that in exams, whined Ino. So how are yours? Just tracking sensei and dispelling genjutsus as well, how we mask our scent from other trackers, mostly stealth, explained Hinata. Lucky your exam is easy, so what about Team 7? Asked Ino. We're mostly heavy hitters with Naruto as our frontliner, I strike from the shadows and Sakura as our support, so our exam is the bell test to test our teamwork against stronger opponents, which means we fraud our sensei, explained Blake. So how'd you guys do? Asked Kiba. We passed, well just 3 of us if you count Sasuke, said Sakura. Wow, you didn't call him Sasuke-kun. Well, you can count Naruto and Blake here, getting a nod from Ino. What about Duck Butt? Asked Hinata, which got laughs from everyone except Shino and Sakura, which the latter just giggled. You know, I wonder why his hair's shaped like ducks, but asked Naruto. Who cares, said Kiba. Point. Did Uchiha-san also pass? Asked Shino. Yeah, if he didn't we'll get in trouble with the council, well the civilian side that is, no offense Sakura-san, said Naruto. None taken, Naruto, I just wonder why my mother sides with them in pampering one person. Asked Sakura. It's a stupid reason actually. When I ask some of the clan heads what the civilian side say, they quote it's to keep the Uchiha loyalers so that the Sharingan stays in the village, end of quote. It's not really a good reason even if the Sharingan is a valuable asset, said Blake. I know, it's not like one man or boy can actually win a fight against dozens of enemies, added Hinata. Yep, our fight with Kakashi is proof of that, said Naruto. Do tell. Threw some shurikens, short hand to hand, spit a fireball, then got buried with the exception of his head, which I should drawn some doodles on, damn. And the best part is, his fight didn't even last 5 minutes, added Blake. Damn, that's short, who knew duck ass doesn't think in a fight, said Kiba. Troublesome, because of that stupid pride of his, he almost failed, well almost, said Shikamaru. Hey guys, Choji calling the attention of his classmates. Yet all said in unison. Is it wrong to wish that he failed, asked Choji, with all of them look at each other thinking, which was short-lived. Nope, with the exception of Sakura since she just dropped her crush just a few hours ago. Oh good, it's not just me now, let's eat with them, proceeded eating. Earlier in Hokage Tower. Now we find our Jounins report on their teams to the Hokage. Here we have Asuma Sarutobi, Kurenai Yuhi and Kakashi, which he was on time this time and pretty banged up with torn clothes and slight burns and some unimportant Jounins. Yo Kakashi, what the hell happened to you, asked Asuma. My team happened was the only thing, he said. They can't be that good, can they? Asked Kurenai. Oh, they're good, that's all I can say for now. Now give me a report on each teams. Team 1 fail. Team 2 fail. Team 3 fail. Team 4 fail. Team 5 fail. Team 6 fail. Team 7 pass with flying colors, well almost flying colors, which startled the other Jounin since Kakashi barely pass any of his assigned Genin teams, which now piqued their interest. Some were even saying the Uchiha may be the reason they passed. I knew Uchiha-sama might pass, or the most stupid reason may be the demon died, that's why they passed. Since Kakashi report on their performance, the Hokage ordered his Jounin. Hi. Let me summarize their stealth first. Sakura bad and needs some work, Sasuke is moderately good but leaves too many hints, Naruto can mask his chakra and can even fool me even with my Sharingan on, well Blake can literally vanish, you can't find a trace of her chakra and won't even notice her presence unless she wants you to. I doubt Anbu or even you Hokage-sama might find her. Maybe highly trained censors, but even they will find it hard to find her. What? That's impossible, shouted a random Jounin. Add to that the jutsu she created accidentally to travel between shadows which she called shadow walk makes her perfect in assassination and infiltrations. He lied about the fact that she has the shadow affinity or release, so to avoid the attention of certain individuals except. Though Hokage already trusts Danzo since he also viewed them like his own grandkids. Again what? Continue Kakashi. Hi. Well, Naruto is recruiting Blake and Sakura using shadow clones in order to get the bell. He was trying to persuade Sasuke to be part of the plan, but his stupid pride for being an Uchiha prevented him that saying I'm an Uchiha and elite I don't need help to defeat a no-name Jounin, which almost cost him his career. Though he did do good barely, but still stupid in charging at me alone. We need to get him check up with Inoichi side the Hokage continue. Naruto was the leader in their plan, well he distracts me and always keeps my attention to him while still giving orders. He lets Blake strike me every chance she gets with the opening Naruto gives her, while Sakura supports them from behind with minor Jinjutsu and Shuriken Jutsu, along with some exploding tags that Naruto gave her. All in all they're a heavy hitter unit. End of report. Hokage-sama. Am I though Sakura would likely to help the Uchiha ask the Hokage. Usually but Naruto and Blake managed to talk her out of it. So I recommend her to study up medical ninjutsu, so can I get permission for her to work in the hospital for a while? Permission granted, it's good to have medic nin on the team. Can I also get one for Hinata, since she's interested in being one asked Kurenai getting a nod from the Hokage. Thank you Hokage-sama. It's okay. Now if I can apply medical classes in the academy to reduce casualties in the field which got multiple nods from the Jounins, I'll bring it up on the next meeting. Okay teammate report. Hi. Teammate pass Hokage-sama. Successfully became a tracking unit. Hinata uses her Dojutsu to detect and dispel all of my Jinjutsus, and it doesn't hurt that she can use multiple water jutsus and excel in Taijutsu, while Shino detects something that she can't using his bugs to find abnormalities on the surrounding environment, along with using them as scouts, but mostly rely on his bugs and is poor in Taijutsu and Ninjutsu. As for Kiba he's brash and headstrong, but has good firm on Taijutsu skills, especially his family jutsus, and uses his Enshin senses to track certain targets. Ninjutsu and Jinjutsu-wise almost non-existence before stepping back. Good, Team 10 report. Team 10 pass Hokage-sama. Team 10 became a capture and infiltration unit with Ino, has a good grasp in her family jutsu and a moderately good in Taijutsu, and recommended to learn a Taijutsu focusing on the legs, and has a few earth jutsu which she told me she learned from Blake-san. Shikamaru is the leader, making multiple plans and strategize with the use of his shadows and his teammates' strong points, but like most Nara he's lazy. Like you then joke the older Sarutobi which got snickers from most of the Jounin. Oh haha. Anyway Choji is headstrong and always protect his teammates at any cost and he really excelled in his family jutsus. But good. I expect great things from them. Now dismissed except you Kakashi with the rest of the Jounins left with the exception of Kakashi. Now when Blake used her shadow walk, did the Uchiha notice something? With now Kakashi burying his head in his favorite orange book. No, but it's a matter time before he notices, especially if Naruto and Blake is forced to use them. If those civilians and my teammates found about their use of shadow and light. It could only spell trouble and might push Blake into marrying the Uchiha. Oh yeah Naruto might go berserk before he lets that happen. We need to prepare something before that happens. Kakashi tell me, does those two have romantic feelings against each other? I don't know Hokage-sama, but sometimes I caught them glancing each other from time to time no doubt waiting for a chance to confess. Good, if that's the case we shouldn't worry about them like I originally thought. Okay Kakashi you're dismissed which Kakashi walked out of the room while Hiruzen goes back to his work and saw the stacks of paperwork multiplied aghhhh. When did this vile monstrosity multiply? You dare mock me, if I found the secret to defeating you I will laugh at your demise hahaha with the Anbu now sweat dropping, thinking that their leader already lost his sanity before they heard something laughing and saw the paperwork was laughing evilly before they were rubbing their eyes and saw the paperwork was sitting still and got them thinking no, maybe we're working too much. Back with Naruto and the others. Hey Naruto you heard that which got his attention and everybody else. Heard what? Seems like Chichi finally cracked. Who are you guys talking about? Asked Choji. They're probably talking about Hokage Jiji said Hinata while still eating her food. You guys are calling Hokage-sama Jiji. Well me and Blake was first before we introduced Hinata to him. By the way did he finally cracked from the paperwork? Yep. I think I heard you dare mock me, if I found the secret to defeating you I will laugh at your demise. Then he proceeded to laugh which they blinked as well as the others that surrounds them. The ha-ha-ha Jiji finally lost it ha-ha-ha with Naruto laughing uncontrollably with a giggling Blake and Hinata while the others were just dumbfounded. Wait how did you hear all that asked Choji. When I first heard a shout, I enhanced my hearing with chakra to the point I can faintly hear conversations from the Hokage tower which she lied. Ever since she trained to be a kunoichi her hearing doubled, this also counted her other ears. Wow, that's far, said a shocked Ino. It really is useful but also troublesome, said Shikamaru. Yeah, it's also troublesome, especially if someone has a sound-based weapon, said Blake, with multiple people winced at that, especially Blake. Yeah, not too fond on becoming deaf, said Naruto as he mentally added, I really need to finish that seal. Oh yeah, Naruto, we need to get home since we forgot to leave reinforced shadow clones to take care of them. Oh shit, good thing they know how to take care of themselves whenever we're not around. Nendai-chan, Ni-chan, do you two have a pet or something, because whenever it's around this hour you two straightly go home to take care of something, and whenever me and Hanabi visit I don't see anything besides you two, said Hinata. Oh yeah, we never told you about them, did we? What secrets are you two keeping? Asked Ino. Well, not exactly a secret, it's just we didn't have time to tell anyone, said Blake. Well, me and Blake are keeping chibis called Puchi dolls, we kinda found them in the middle of the forest of death sleeping, said Naruto. Puchi dolls, all said in unison with Blake giving them a picture of what they looked like. Howie! Screamed Ino, Hinata and Sakura as they were looking at the cutest thing they have ever seen. They saw a miniaturized Naruto, Blake, Hinata, Ino, Sakura, Tsunade and a girl with buns, an. Look at Pachima's petite idols which I don't own and imagine them like those chibis, can we see them? They shouted excitedly. Sure, with Blake nursing her ear. Just don't shout like that ever again, some of us have sensitive hearing, said Naruto with him and Kiba also nursing their ears before Hinata asked something. Wait, if they're living with you why haven't I seen them yet? That was a good question. Well, when I first started Fuinjutsu, I was making a storage seal when I messed up on the ceiling array and accidentally made a mini pocket dimension the size of a living room, so I just stored it for future uses, and when we found them we made it into their room by placing it in a door before they asked a question in how the chibis go in and out of the door, he explained. Before you guys ask anything, the Puchi dolls can use chakra and knows how to use them, so they can go in and out of the pocket dimension. Well, that answered their question. Anyway, let's go, I want to see our chibi selves with Ino, Hinata and Sakura dragging their respective teammates, after they paid of course. At Naruto and Blake's apartment. With teams 7, 8 and 10 arrived at their apartment that seems just like seconds, okay, where's the little cuties, practically shouted Ino while he shook Naruto back and forth with Hinata, and Sakura nodded their head furiously waiting for him to speak, and with Blake at the sidelines, watching the whole thing in slight fear. Who knew we girls are scary when it involves this kind of thing? She didn't know that other girls act like this, since she practically spent her whole life with Naruto training or spending time with him and Hinata, without spending a time with feminine stuff, or has little to no time for them. Naruto tried to stop Ino from shaking so he could answer before they heard a cute pii sound across the room, as they saw a chibi Ino holding a potted blue flower pii with now chibi, tilting her head in confusion on who are those people, along with Naruto and Blake. With Ino suddenly scooped up her chibi self and rubbed her face with hers, while also careful not to damage the plant that the chibi was carrying. Wow, you gotta admit she's kinda adorable, said Choji with Kiba and Shino agreeing, while Shikamaru thought it was troublesome. You're so adorable, along with Hinata and Sakura also glumping the chibi. Naruto, Blake, can I bring her home? Sure, if she agrees, right Blake, which she nodded, causing Ino to squeal and delight. Oh, and Sakura, before you can say you can take home your chibi me, I don't think that's a good idea, which Sakura was suddenly confused before she remembered her mother hated Naruto. Naruto noticed the look of realization on her face. Exactly, she might harm her just to spite me. But don't worry, you can take her anywhere other than your home, okay, he smiled. I guess that's okay. Too bad I can't take her home, she smiled sadly. Okay, let's go to the Puchi room then, with team 7, 8 and 10 standing in front of a door with a ceiling tag in the middle, before Naruto pumped some chakra in it and opened the door. What they saw inside the door was a living room-sized space, but what surprised them was that there was a room-sized sakura tree in the middle, with a small pond at the left corner and multiple beds on the other side of the pond. What the rest saw next was the most cutest thing they have ever seen. They saw multiple chibis on a dog pile, with Naruto's chibi at the bottom, with Blake's chibi trying to help them get off of each other, with each chibi were whining with the cute noises they make. While Mini Tsunade was drinking a bottle of sake in the corner laughing. Oh, that's so adorable, squealed the females in the group, with the noise alerting the rest of the Puchi dolls. Blake's chibi holds up a sign, and where she got that sign no one know, and that says they say it's payback for pranking them for a while now, with group sweat drops including Naruto, and that's saying something. She always put up a sign on everything she says, she's the quiet one and always reading books, kinda like Kitty here, said Naruto, getting an O from everyone. Hey Nai-chan, I forgot to ask. What's their names? Asked Hinata along with the two girls nodding. Well, I named mine Nason, said Naruto, with now chibi mysteriously appeared on his head with a grin on his face. Well, I named mine Blair with her scooping up her chibi. We didn't name the others yet since we wanted them to be named by you girls and they kinda looks like you true. They didn't why the chibis looks like them. The girls again squealed in delight making the other makes groan. Naruto me and the guys are leaving since it's so troublesome said Shika with Kiba and Choji agreeing. Oh okay guys see you soon then said Naruto with the said boys now leaving the apartment as he turned his attention at the girls. So what are you gonna name them? Questioned Naruto. I think I'll name her Inarin said Ino with the now named Inarin is also saying pai while also smiling, meaning she liked it. I'll think I'll name her Himeki said Hinata with Himeki now hugged close to her chest as it was making a chi noises as she poked her stubby arms on each other, embarrassingly with a blush on her face, while looking down oh we're so adorable as Hinata again hugged Himeki to her face chii. Sakura picked her chibi and looked at her and smiles, she'll be Sakurai the others looked at her with a deadpan stare, with the now named Sakurai included. Sakura looked around and saw them staring at them what? Sakura you just put I at the end of your name said Blake with the others nodded including the chibis. Okay fine she again looked at her chibi, what about Sakuya? The chibi looked at her and cried Pina in approval and reached out to her. Sakura complied and hugged her with her face oh I'm glad you like it. We only have Tsunade's chibi and the bun-haired girl said Naruto with Hinata remembered seeing her. Wait I think I know her. She's from Niji's team, she's team 9 weapon specialist said Hinata. So she's on Bushy Brow Sensei's team, then said Naruto with a slight shudder, same with Blake. For the longest time they couldn't forget that large bushy eyebrows of his we'll tell her once we get the chance as he looked at the chibi bun-haired girl just wait okay, I'm sure she'll love you once we meet her with said chibi nodded and getting a cry of MII from her wonder when the old hag will come back. Old hag? What old hag? The girls cluelessly asked. Tsunade Senju of the Sannin, granddaughter of Hiroshima Senju, Slug Princess, or some call her the legendary sucker, simply answered Blake getting wide eyes. What? Naruto why did you call her old hag? Semi-shouted Sakura to Naruto with a bit of anger in her voice, tempting to hit him in his head since she dreamed to be like her someday. Naruto held up his hands and finding a reason to diffuse her angry face at him. What it's true. She's what over 50? Naruto argued in Sakura that hearing her idol's age does kinda make sense why Naruto called her old hag, but still. Naruto girls are touchy about their age, so don't tell that in front of her okay asked Sakura which she got a nod well time to go home then, I'll visit Sakuya again Tomoro okay as she put down Sakuya and left smiling the same with Ino and Hinata waving their goodbyes, but they took Inarin and Himeki, with chibi bun hair, and Mini Tsunade left. Okay you three behave until the others pick you up okay. Well I deal with Sakura's family so that they won't hate you okay Sakuya getting a nod from the chibi, along with the others okay, let's get something to eat and go to sleep, we have a big day ahead of us getting nods from all the occupants from the room. I'm skip -1 month it's not wave yet, that's the next chapter. For the past month they have been training in teamwork, most likely to get the Uchiha off his high horse who was still brooding his ass off, but also trained Sakura to her limits that she was ready for a low C rank mission, along with Ino, Hinata and Sakura, getting to know their chibi selves. Naruto also finished the seal to increase or decrease the volume received by Blake's other ear and applied it to the back of her cat ears, which she was thankful for. They are now in the Hokage's office to get their new mission or hoping to get a C rank 1. True to the Hokage's word about having the Uchiha check up every once a week and was already announced that he was a flight risk. They now stand in front of the Hokage to get another mission. Reporting for success of D rank Hokage-sama, said Kakashi still buried his nose on his favorite orange book, the same going on with his other two students, with the three giggling perversely, Naruto and Blake more reserved than Kakashi in the perverse giggling which irked Sakura a little since she hasn't got used to their reading in smut while Sasuke was brooding in the corner of the room. But good, I have your next mission said the Hokage before he got interrupted by Kakashi. Hokage-sama, can I request a bandit elimination getting a raised eyebrow from the Hokage? Why? He questioned. Since their skills are already up to par, the only thing they need is experience and their first kill in order for them to grow. I know it's a bit early, but I trust them Kakashi assured the Hokage they will be safe. Fine. Here's a low C rank mission to eliminate 80 bandits near the border of Lightning Country as he handed the scroll to start their mission, okay dismissed, except you Kakashi. Hi. Oh and meet me at the gate in 3 hours, come fully prepared we don't want to take any chances, Team 7 nodded before they left. Kakashi I want you to keep an eye on the Uchiha. Especially with the psych exam that Inoichi is doing and the results are devastating, I didn't think that revenge can even drive a person mad like Sasuke Uchiha has. It's like his life revolve around his revenge on Itachi, so I want you to keep watch on him and don't teach him any lethal jutsus and warn Naruto, Blake and Sakura to be careful once Sasuke get his Sharingan because We don't want Sasuke to copy any lethal or potentially dangerous jutsus that they use, especially the jutsus that Blake and Naruto has. The Hokage nodded and he nodded back. 3 hours later. 3 hours passed and Team 7 was waiting in the main gate of the village for Kakashi. Each member has different feeling about killing bandits, both Naruto and Blake, while not nervous, but they loathe killing and avoid it as much as possible. But since this world is ruled by shinobis, it would be nearly impossible to avoid killing. Sakura was a nervous mess, she couldn't imagine herself to kill people even if they deserve it, while Sasuke was seemingly excited and that disturbs the rest of his teammates. It was also a good thing that Blake and Naruto remembered to leave reinforced shadow clones to take care of their chibis. "Hey Sakura, you alright?" Blake asked worriedly. Sakura shook her head, meaning she was outright scared. "I'm scared of killing, even though I knew what will happen when I signed up to be a ninja, it still scares me." Then she got hugged from Blake, soothing her worry even if a little bit. "It's okay Sakura-san," she whispered into her ear, gaining a smile on Sakura, and at the sidelines a smiling Naruto and a grunting Sasuke. The Kakashi appeared so suddenly that scared Sakura, and Sasuke with Blake seemed to be in an irritated mood, while Naruto was already used to his sensei's antics of being late on missions other than A rank and above. "Did you all pack your supplies?" Getting nods from 4 of his students. "Okay, Team 7 move out." They arrived at their destination earlier than expected since Sakura was no longer a fangirl and actually trains, increasing her stamina. Once they arrived they saw about 45 bandits in total and 12 of them were drunk. "Okay, here's the plan, we wait until nighttime to strike. Blake, take out as many as you can, preferably about 12 to 14 of them, aim for the drunk ones first, while Naruto will lead the assault with Sasuke and Sakura, you support them as much as possible, while I deal with the stragglers." They nodded on their orders. "Wait, why are you the one who will deal with stragglers, Kakashi-sensei?" asked Sakura. "Because I want to see how you deal with them, and don't worry, I'll intervene if I saw any of you in danger," he assured Sakura, which she sighed in relief. Night came and Team 7's operation began. Like Kakashi said, Blake used the cover of the night to silently sneak at isolated bandits or two to slit their throats with a kunai, since using her scythe would completely bisect them, and she didn't need for any one of her victims to scream to alert the others. She could always use shadow travel, but she wanted to test her own stealth abilities to full use since she needs to conserve chakra in case something wrong will happen. Once she hit her quota, she sends out a chakra burst to signal the others that the operation is a go. Naruto ran into the camp with bandits in front of him, swinging his huge sword and bisecting 2 bandits on their waist, and proceeded to do so with the other bandits. Sasuke was at his back, seething and pondering why the dead last was stronger than him. Then he threw a bunch of kunai at the bandits at his back that were sneaking up on him. He held up an incoming puke from his mouth but held it in, and he saw Naruto continue to decimate the bandits. Sakura was at their back supporting them with projectiles including explosive tags. She then noticed something behind her. She suddenly whipped out a kunai and plunged it in the man's throat as blood was gushing out. That made Sakura puke in disgust but quickly regained her composure since she didn't want to be an easy target for bandits. Blake used her scythe acrobatically slash multiple enemies and with her cat-like reflexes helped as bandits clearly can't hit her no matter how hard they try. While Kakashi was looking at the sidelines. With Naruto stabbed a man in the chest before kicking the body away. "Damn, I really can't get used to killing," even though he already knew that he would have to kill the moment he became a shinobi. It doesn't that he hates to kill. But he knew the moment he lets his guard down he'll get killed instead. He also knew of the consequences of letting them go. The bandits that would survive will recruit new bandits and continue to pillage, steal, kill, and the worst of all, rape the innocents. He dodged an incoming arrow from his back and threw a kunai at the direction, hitting the archer at the throat. He was then surrounded by 5 bandits. He looks for the weakest link of the 5 and saw a man that was trembling and saw that as his opening. He rushed at the man, throwing 5 shurikens at him. The man didn't have time to dodge or even deflect the incoming shurikens at him as he lays on the ground lifeless. Naruto then threw his zanbatsu at the man to his right, completely impaling him with the giant sword and was flung to a tree, embedding him to said tree. Naruto then turned to the other 3 and fought them into jutsu. He saw a katana bearing down at him, so he deflected it with a metal plate on his gloves and kicked him in the chest, sending him flying. He followed the flying man and picked up the katana, throwing it at him, embedding him into a wile like he did with the man with his zanbatsu. He ducked from a slash coming behind him and he leg swept the man behind him, making him crash down and snapping his neck with a chakra-enhanced axe kick. He then turned his head at the last man and he used his arm to charge at him with a spear-like hand and pierces him with it. He retracted his blood-covered arm and sighed at what he had to do. He walked up to his zanbatsu, pulling it out from the body and the tree, and saw 10 other bandits coming at him. He had enough as he used futon. Air bullets, but this was more condensed and shot about 4 of them, obliterating the bandits. He again sighed before he almost puked and held it in. I better check up on Sakura as he dashed towards Sakura's location. With Blake. Sighed to think I'll encounter more life and death situation in the future as she slashed at another bandit before she remembered the memory before she came to the elemental nations. I wonder what the chibis are doing. Sigh, I wish I was just at home eating tuna as she slashed another one with her scythe. She looked in front of her and saw about 8 bandits rushing at her. She sheathed her scythe and performed hand signs and formed Kakashi's signature jutsu, which was the Rakiri, but rather in one arm she formed it in both hands coupled up with her Taijutsu. Her hands were literally weapons for her. She blocked the incoming katana strike by parrying with her lightning-encased arms, and a swift movement she sliced her arms on the man's gut. Men, be careful of those hands of hers. Surround her, but didn't have a chance since Blake was the fastest and nimblest of them all. She lunged her arms through the person's chest and proceeded to do the same with 4 men. When one was going to stab her, she simply moved a little to her right and catched the sword with her fingers, electrocuting the one who was holding it, then kneed him in the just that made the man feel like he was hit with a battering ram, making him dead flying. The last 2 were scared at the girl in front of them, not on scratch on her. Since they couldn't escape, they decided to do the do or die option, which they really died when Blake threw a lightning-enhanced kunai between their eyes when they blindly charged at her, making her sigh again. She puked at the sight of dead, mutilated bodies that she made. Is this what a ninja is all about, killing? Naruto better make me tuna sandwich when we get home, as she vanished through the forest, making her way to Kakashi's location, since she already knew that Naruto was heading for Sakura. It's in his nature and it's one of the reasons why she loved him. But Sasuke. Damn it was the only thing that was going in his head. He ducked under a swinging katana over his head that nearly took his head off and got kicked in the chest. But he got up quick and threw 10 shuriken at the man and connected. How are they hitting me in a Uchiha, damn it? You see, he thought he could handle 8 bandits easily, but reality is a harsh mistress to the delusional Uchiha. You see, he may be a genius, but he is an delusional genius. He hasn't dealt multiple enemies at once, only one-on-one. It takes time to prepare a Kaiten jutsu, which always disturbed by enemies. These bandits has dealt with Genin before, so they know when to attack and defend against their jutsus. Well, for Genin but against higher level enemies they can't but die in their presence. Give up, little boy, just stay still and die. Before he got impaled in the chest by a kunai thrown by Sasuke. No pant, all of you will die, as he weaved a bunch of hand sign and inhaled and blew a huge fireball at the 4 bandits, which only 2 remained. Not so tough now, huh? No one can stand the might of the Uchiha before he got shot in the back shoulder by an archer. He screamed loudly, staring at the archer as he was rearing another arrow at him before the archer got stabbed in the back by a large scythe and was retracted as he saw Blake. Sasuke, don't just sit there and watch. Go to sensei now, Blake shouted at him before she hopped off, finding more bandits. Sasuke seethed that he was saved, or some other reason we can't really explain. Damn, it was the only thing he thought before rushing off to their sensei to get the arrow off his shoulder and fix his wounds. But Sakura. I need to find the others. She was running through the ruined tents when 2 men blocked her path and another 2 had appeared behind her. Well, looky here, boys, a little girl playing ninja, how about we have fun with her? What you say, boys? With his fellow bandits roared in agreement, which makes Sakura frown in disgust and already planning on using a horrible genjutsu on them, too horrible to describe by men. So you want to play, huh? Take a look at this then, Mugen. Hell's view. Within moment 3 of the 4 bandits that surrounded her fell on the ground, screaming, please kill me, while the remaining bandit was looking scared and angry. You bitch, what did you do to them? Shouted a very angry Kunoichi. Sakura said nothing as she sent an exploding tag on the enemy, blasting the conscious bandit and the unconscious one. Feeling green on killing the 2 bandits, she went up on the remaining ones and thrust her kunai on their throats, successfully killing them. After she was done killing, she ran up a nearby bush and puked all of her stomach's contents from today and yesterday. She never imagined herself killing anyone, but she knew the consequences of letting them live. Her mother told her that she doesn't need to kill because she will always be protected by the Uchiha or their sensei. It seems she now knows the dark side of being a shinobi, instead of it being sunshine and rainbows like she dreamed when she was still a fangirl. She heard a rustle in the bushes and prepared a kunai in case of an enemy. Who's there? She demanded. Whoa there, Sakura. The person came out of the bushes and revealed it to be Naruto. Don't scare me like that, Baka. She loosened her stance in relief. Naruto looked behind her and found 4 dead men. You okay, Sakura? He said to Sakura, which she nodded in response. Good, let's get you to Kakashi sensei. Me and Blake will take care of the rest. She nodded and sprinted towards their sensei, which they reached a couple of minutes and saw Sasuke being treated. No Pav, 38. Hey, Kakashi sensei. Take care of Sakura for a bit, me and Blake will take care of the rest. Kakashi responded in a nod. Before Naruto took off, he asked something. By the way, were there any stragglers passed by? He asked. Yeah. I took out 5 of them when I saw them fleeing the battlefield, he replied to his question. So most likely there's only 2 or 3 left before he took off. He was jumping from branch to find the remaining bandits until he saw Blake finishing 2 bandits with her scythe. Blake. Are these 2 the last one? Yeah, I don't sense anyone anymore, he nodded at her response. I still feel bad about taking life, Naruto. It just doesn't feel right, she added grimly. I know, Blake, I know. Even I don't like it, but if we don't, many innocents will die, and we need strength to protect our precious people, as both of them know about the rest of the rookies minus Sasuke, Kakashi, Guy and his team, but they don't really know about them yet, so maybe, they're Jiji, the perverted sage, Hinata and her family and their chibis. Blake smiled at Naruto. You're right. Let's head back to the others. I want a warm bath and tuna when we get home. Now that's the Blake I know. Blake playfully slapped his shoulders, all the while smiling, and I mean both of them. Before they jumped off to Kakashi and the others, they sealed up every valuable they found to Ryo, jewels and valuable items and sealing scrolls. Naruto and Blake arrived at their team's location, giving their report. Mission complete, Sensei, Naruto solemnly said. Team 7 minus Sasuke felt like monsters to kill multiple people like that. Kakashi nodded and saw the looks on their faces and already knows what to say to them to ease their worries. Good. I know it's hard to kill people, but you need this in order to grow into a fine ninja, even though how much it pains us to do so. It's okay to scream, cry. Just because you killed doesn't make you a monster. The only thing that will make you a monster is that you killed without remorse. Remember, you guys are not monsters, you only become one if you choose to be one. They all nodded. Good, let's set up camp and leave in the morning. They left the area. Sorry, not really good at motivational speeches. Time skipped 2 months. It's been 2 months since their C-rank mission and was given a 1-week rest to calm their nerves, especially Sakura after a traumatizing experience. It took the combined efforts of Naruto, Blake and their sensei to stop the nightmares that she's dreaming for a couple of days. For the last month they were only doing D ranks to strengthen their teamwork and training. They laid off the C ranks for a bit unless they're ready again. They were now catching the cat of the daimyo's wife, Madame Shinji, or as would the shinobis call it, the demon cat from hell. Vanguard in position. 7 meters from the target. Blossom in position. 8 meters from mine. Infiltrator in position. Same. Brooder, I hate you, Al in position. 3 meters. Mask here, go on my count. No. As all 4 jumped out of their position trying to catch the cat. Sasuke tried, emphasis on tried, as Tora scratched his face until his face leaked blood. Sakura tried next, but Tora scratched her arm, causing her to drop Tora. Naruto was next, but was intercepted when Sasuke threw a kunai at Tora, making her run again. Naruto looked at Sasuke like he was crazy. What the hell, Sasuke? I was about to get her. And why the hell did you throw a kunai? You could have killed her. HN. Don't HN me, asshole. Blake walks up to them holding Tora in her arms, purring from the petting that Blake's gave her. Let it be Whiskers. The rest of the teams was having their jaws dropped at how Tora becoming docile in Blake's arms. Wah. How? He asked dumbly. Oh, come on. Why is she like that to you, whined Sakura. I don't know, maybe cats just like me, she half lied since she herself is part cat. Kakashi came out of the foliage with an eye smile. Congrats in capturing Tora. Now let's go, hand in out report as they jumped from building to building, coming closer to the Hokage's tower. Hokage's office. Meanwhile at the Hokage's office. The Hokage himself was engaged in battle with paperwork until he heard a knock and just said enter. He saw Team 7 coming in. He saw Sasuke's face was covered in scratch marks. Sakura has a small cut on her arm, while Naruto and Blake has no injuries whatsoever. He was also shocked that Tora looked like a domesticated cat in the arms of Blake. How? Was the only thing he asked. Blake just shrugged it off but was startled when a woman grabbed Tora and squeezed it to death. Oh Tora. I missed you so much, while the rest sweat drops. No wonder he ran away, thought Naruto and Sakura. Tire, squeeze it more, with Sasuke mentally laughing evilly at the cat being squeezed to death. She doesn't deserve that treatment, maybe that's the reason she always ran away. You madam, can you not squeeze Tora to death? And I think he's turning blue. The mentioned madam looked at her cat and is indeed turning blue. Why don't you hold her gently rather than squeezing her? It may be the reason she's always running away. The woman nodded and loosened her grip on and started to pet Tora gently, and she purred in delight. Now the woman was grateful for Blake that she paid her extra, then left. Her team, the Hokage and the Hidden Anbu, dropped their respective jaws. Blake pretty much removed the capture Tora mission on their mission board forever. Too bad, now I can't watch new Genins get scratched by Tora. Wine here's in getting sweat drops from the room. What? All Genin should get initiated by Tora. Anyway, good job completing the mission. Now I have oath D ranks. There's walking the Inyazuka dogs, weeding the garden, painting Faye before he got cut off by an extremely irritated Ichiha. I've had it with these chores, I'm an Uchiha elite, I deserve better than these chores. Sasuke ranted with the rest of Team 7 shook their heads in embarrassment. Sasuke, be respectful to the Hokage. Iruka scolded Sasuke, but he just HN''d and looked away. Kakashi, are they ready for another C rank? Getting a look from Iruka, well, Kakashi was thoughtful. I believe so, Hokage-sama. Sakura fully recovered from the trauma she experienced on the last one. Sasuke, Blake and Naruto are also ready. Iruka was about to protest, but remembered when Blake and Naruto was hiding their strength when he first met them, so they would be okay. But he was worried about Sakura, but since the team has a Jounin and 2 Jounin level Genin on the team, his worries vanished. But he threw a scroll at Kakashi containing the mission details. Team 7 will escort a bridge builder to Nami. I'm also sending Team 8 as backup if something goes wrong, and to give them outside experience. Kakashi nodded, it would be good to have another rookie team to experience the outside world. Iruka again became worried of his former students. Hiruzen pressed his comm device and tell the bridge builder to come in, while he signaled an Anbu to tell Team 8 to prepare for a C-rank mission. The door opened, wowing a man with a straw hat and holding a sake bottle, and he was somewhat drunk if the smell was not noticeable enough, especially with Blake cringing at the strong smell of sake. This the team you got me, a cyclops, a girl with bubblegum hair that would cry, a boy that has duck butt hair and has a look like his dog died. Before he looked at Blake and Naruto, and what are those supposed to be? Are those two trying to compensate for something? No, Tazuna-san, they're not compensating for anything. In fact, the both of them are quite proficient in using their weapons and don't underestimate them, said Hiruzen. It solidified when the now named bridge builder was blasted by a small amount of Kai that was enough to make a grown man cry, and he looked for the source and found it was the 2 kids he made fun of earlier. Oh, okay, fair enough. I am the amazing super bridge builder of Nami, Tazuna is my name. Your job is to protect me. Before he walked out of the office. Okay, pack up and meet at the North Gate in 2 hours, ordered Kakashi. Hi, shouted his team with Sasuke begrudgingly. And Team 7 and 8 was waiting for Kakashi and Tazuna to come up. Welp, no time like the present, said Naruto as he brought out the newest edition of Icha book and began to giggle. Kurenai is aghast at what Naruto was reading. Naruto, what the hell are you reading that garbage, scolded Kurenai. I blame Kitty. How can you blame BL? As she saw Naruto pointing at Blake, who was also reading an Icha book, dumbfounded, she could do nothing more than to gape at her. Besides, she's the reason I was hooked on this in the first place, without taking his eyes off the book, as both he and Blake giggled perversely. Haha, wow, who knew he would cheat on her? Both Naruto and Blake said, getting some twitches from Kurenai, blushes from Kiba and Hinata, with the latter being curious. As for Shino, he was able to hide it. Hey Nii-chan, is it interesting? Said Hinata with a head tilt, getting a horrid face from Kurenai. Yes it is, but you're too young to read it, said Blake. Hey, I'm the same age as you two, she argued. Yeah, but you're too innocent for it, said Naruto. That's not fair, Hinata pouted, getting a relief sigh from Kurenai, but Naruto wasn't finished. Maybe if you a boyfriend we'll let you read it, he added. Only if we approved of him, Blake added her 2 cents. Deal. Please don't let her have a boyfriend yet, please don't let her have a boyfriend yet, Kurenai chanted in her head repeatedly. Naruto and Blake was sensing that their sensei is on their way here with Tazuna drunk again, so they had to put nose plugs to at least lessen the horrible smell of alcohol in their nose. Hey, what's the nose plugs for? Asked Kiba. You'll see soon enough, said Blake. Kakashi and Tazuna reached their views, and the moment Tazuna got close to Kiba, his nose retched at the horrible smell. Tommy, what is that smell? Kiba fell to the floor, rolling his body, while his hands was tightly kept shut at his nose, trying to block out the smell. Even those who didn't have enhanced smell cringed at it. Oh, sorry I was late, had to find Tazuna, as he gestured at the wobbling client. Well, that was kind of a good excuse, said a dumbfounded Sakura along with Kurenai. It wasn't an excuse, Sakura, I really did find him in a bar, Kakashi deadpanned. Well, that was a first, said Naruto. Let's just head out, says Kakashi. Road to Nami. They were walking towards Nami with 3 of Team 7, reading Icha while giggling from time to time, with Kurenai also twitching in annoyance every time. It was eerily quiet until Sakura broke it by giving Tazuna a question. Tazuna-san, you're from the land of waves, right? Yeah, what of it? He answered. Kakashi-sensei, aren't there ninjas in their country? Sakura asked. No, Sakura, there are no ninjas in the land of waves. But there are in other countries, there are hidden villages, each with their own different customs and cultures, where the ninjas reside, as he began to explain at how shinobi's villages mean strength, military power to maintain the balance of power between countries, and they aren't controlled by governments and so on. Half an hour later. We see our group of ninjas along with Tazuna walking down the road until they saw a puddle in the middle of the road as the senseis, Naruto, Blake, Hinata, Shino and Sakura, detected the pathetically placed ninjutsu. Naruto used Anbu hand signs at the senseis and Blake, and they nodded. As they approached the puddle, several chains latched onto Kakashi and Kurenai and was shredded to bits, causing Sakura and Hinata to scream. Kiba, Shino, and Sasuke stiffened before Naruto knocked them out of their dazes. "Two down, 7 to go," said the one with the one horn. "Get a hold of yourselves, this is not the time to panic." "Naruto is right, just calm down for a minute." They nodded and, not worried about their temporary dead sensei for a while, and focus on protecting the bridge builder. Two figures emerged from the puddle and sneered at the teams of Genin. "Look at that Gozu, a team of wannabe ninjas." "Indeed, Maizu, why don't we show them how a real ninja acts," he said in reply to his brother. "Real ninja my ass, they're already wasting their ambush on just getting our senseis. They should have used the surprised state of our teammates to kill us instead of gloating like morons," thought Naruto as he pinched their nose at their stupidity. Maizu and Gozu, the demon brothers of the mist, both B rank, they use a gauntlet with a retractable shuriken-style chain, recited Blake with a bored look, since they already failed with their first encounter without actually looking if their senseis are dead or not. "Oh look, they know us. Good, it takes the hassle to introduce ourselves," said Maizu. "Oh god, will you two shut up, I swear if every missing nin have a evil monologue," said an irritated Naruto, face-palming Kitty. "Can you just take care of them?" he asked. Fine, she rolled her eyes and stepped forward without drawing her weapon. "Well, come on, we don't have all day though." It sounded arrogant, but it isn't like that. Blake only recognizes ninjas who don't judge based on appearance alone and take their jobs seriously. "Aw, the little girl playing ninja, why don't you go home and cry to mom?" Before he was sent flying by Blake, who was now in position as he crashed through two trees with a broken arm and two ribs. Maizu was at shock and denial that he didn't have time to even register the incoming kick to the kick, which felt like being hit by a boulder. Was the only thing before he was kicked at the back of his head. "Well, that was disappointing," said Blake. "I was hoping more from B rank missing nins as Naruto has gone and tied them up." "Good job, Blake," said a voice from the foliage as Kakashi and Kurenai came out, though when you said disappointing, it really was. They barely even lasted 3 minutes before he was facing towards Tazuna. "Now Tazuna-san, why did you lie to us? They weren't any bandits." Tazuna resigned on denying things as he explained why he needed this. One explanation later. Kakashi looked at the Genins and offered a choice. "Well, we have two choices. 1, we continue with the mission, 2, we go back." "Let's keep going, sensei. I can't ignore if the people were suffering, including the children," sadly said Naruto, which didn't get unnoticed by the senseis, Blake and Hinata. "I agree, we should continue," said Blake. "I'm with Nai-chan and Ni-chan," said Hinata with Shino and Sakura nodding. "Hell yes, this should be easy," said Kiba. "Chen. This will test my skills to prepare for him," said Sasuke as they eye-rolled at Sasuke's one-track mind. Kakashi smiled, Kurenai sighed, and Tazuna was crying for helping him save his country. "Fine, let's go," said Kurenai. Thank you for doing this," cried Tazuna. "It's no problem, Tazuna-san, just be honest with us next time, I'm sure we could have worked something out," said Naruto. As we walked down the road as Tazuna was leading Team 7 and 8 near the waters and saw a man and a boat. "Hurry up, Tazuna, before Gato's men sees us." "Before he saw us, we don't have enough room to bring all of you." "Sasuke, Kiba, Shino, Sakura, get in the boat. Me and the others will follow." They just nodded as 3 of them already know what they're capable of and complied as they boarded the boat, with Sasuke reluctantly agreed along with Tazuna as they boat rowers set out with the others were following via walking on water. As they got nearer to their destination, they saw the bridge Tazuna was building, and it was huge. Naruto and Blake whistled at the sheer size of the bridge. "That's one big bridge," said Naruto, with Blake agreeing. In her world there weren't any bridges as they just use bulkheads and trains as transportations. Maybe the train bridge, but that was different. "Of course it's big. It's built by yours truly," boasted Tazuna. "Ha, so what if it's big?" said Kiba. "Shut up, you'll alert Gato's forces," said the boat rower, and that shut others up. The rest of the voyage was quiet. A few more minutes they landed on shore. "This is as far as I can get you, sorry Tazuna-san, with Gato's forces patrolling the area I understand." Yuro-san, the now named Yuro, departed, leaving Tazuna and the teams of ninja. As they resumed walking, Kiba threw a kunai at the bushes and a white-skinned rabbit jumped out of it. Sakura immediately whacked Kiba in the head and rushes over to the rabbit, cuddling it. Sasuke just HN''D. Well, the others were already suspicious of its white pelt. They heard a humming sound coming right at them as Kakashi suddenly shouted "get down" as he grabbed Tazuna, Kurenai, his 2 male students. Naruto grabbed Sasuke, and Blake got Sakura and Hinata as they hit the deck, avoiding a huge sword as it was embedded on the tree. A silhouette appeared on the sword and was shown that it was Zabuza Mamachi, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. "Well, if it isn't Sharingan no Kakashi Hadouken Genjutsu Mistress Kurenai Yuhi," said Zabuza. "Sharingan no Kakashi?" thought Sasuke. "Zabuza Mamachi of the Mist, a rank missing nin and member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist," said Naruto. "Oh ho, a brat knows me, he's even carrying his Zanbato," he said back. "Aren't you overcompensation yours?" then teased Naruto as Zabuza sputtered in denial. What about you then, Bratty retorted. This isn't overcompensating it's representation. Kakashi-sensei, permission to go all out, Naruto asked Kakashi. Kakashi sighed, he always knew Naruto was always itching for a fight, and fighting him wasn't enough anymore. He may have inherited his father's looks, but he inherited his mother's personality fine, just be careful. Blake, Kurenai, help set up a barrier, he asked the two Kunoichi behind him. You can't be serious, Kakashi, he's just a genin, Kurenai berated Kakashi. A genin that can easily take me on, he said seriously. Kurenai just complied as Kakashi and Blake set up a barrier from Blake's seal, they just needed charging up with chakra. Tsugaki got a name, said Zabuza. Naruto Uzumaki, genin of Konoha, replied Naruto as he unsheathed his weapon. Zabuza also got his sword out of the tree and rushed at him and proceeded to swing at Naruto's middle section, only to be blocked by Naruto's own sword and did an overhead slash at Zabuza. Zabuza immediately backed up. As the swing was finished, he was about to attack again, only to be met by another overhead slash which he blocked as Naruto sailed over his head. What the how? Naruto attacked again as he landed on the ground. Zabuza kept dodging and parrying every attack he received, and those sword swings were hard, little by little humming of the air, and the clangs of their swords were forming a melody, and it was forming. What the is this music? It's like the blue ocean, as Zabuza countered the last hit with all of his strength, as Naruto was skidding back. Ogaki, why do you know Blood Song? Only one person who knows that style. It was my mother's. Though I just knew it a year ago. What her name is? He was curious and anxious at what he might hear, and if it's true then he might be screwed. Kushina Uzumaki. The Bloody Reaper, he whispered wide-eyed. You're the son of the bloody goddamn Reaper. Well damn, getting a grin from Naruto, but I'll be the judge of that, Suiton. Water Dragon bullet as he sent a water dragon at Naruto. Naruto replied by using Futon. Wind wall as a wall of wind was erected in front of him and dispersed the water dragon in all directions. Who? A wind user, a hiding in the mist as thick mist suddenly poured from their area. Now how will you deal with this? Show me how you're the son of the Bloody Reaper, the voice echoed in the mist. But the others? Ne-sensei, who is this Bloody Reaper that Zabuza keep talking about? Sakura asked Kakashi as they saw and heard sword clashing and jutsus thrown. Yeah, who is it? What the hell makes this Bloody Reaper so special? Ranted Kiba. The Bloody Reaper is one of Konoha's shinobi who decimated about hundreds of enemies in the Third Shinobi War on her mastery on Kenjutsu alone and fought for hours without rest, making her soak in the blood of her enemies. That's how she got her moniker, he explained, getting some awed and fear look from the genins. But why is Zabuza calling Nai-chan he's her son? Asked Hinata. That's because the Bloody Reaper's real name is Uzumaki Kushina and also Whisker's mother, Blake explained. Wow, so Naruto's mom is a badass, said Kiba. That's an understatement, Kiba, said Kakashi. She scares the heck out of me. I'd rather face a battalion of Iwa shinobi than to face Kushina-san. Why is that? Asked Shino. Have you heard the term hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, he asked in return. Shino nodded as he saw multiple times from his mother. Ah, okay, I understand. Mom always do that all the time when dad did something stupid, said Hinata, smiling creepily, which they moved far away from except Blake, who equally smiled the same. As I did with Naruto. And proud of it, said Blake with a smug look on her face. Back with the fight. Swords clashed as they face each other, as their swords were dangerously close to their neck. You're good kid, no wonder you her son. Oh please Zabuza, you know family status has no say in a fight, more like you get killed because of it. Aha, too true, kid, as they separated and resumed their deadly dance of blades. I'll end this now, Zabuza. And how are you going to do that? He was curious what the brat will do to him. I'm going to use a genjutsu that even the Hokage fears now. He was curious as hell to what it is. But the others? Oh no, he can't possibly use that, said a fearful tone that even her pupils shrunken like that of a scared cat. What genjutsu, Blake-san? From what he was saying it might be frightening, said Shino. Oh yeah. It made Hokage Jiji's eyes bleed. To the point it's even forbidden to be used on enemies, getting some fearful looks on everyone. Added to that, Hokage Jiji was in a coma for 2 days because of it. Was that the reason why I heard Hokage Zama was in a hospital, asked Kurenai. Yes, and to make it worse, it a wide area effect, that means we'll also be caught in it. Hinata better look the other way, you guys too. There's no way, I'll bet it's just a bluff, said Sasuke. Yeah, I know Naruto sucks at genjutsu, said Kiba. Their funeral, don't say I warned you to, as she and the others who heeded her warning looked the other way as they cancelled the barrier. Back with the fight. Meijin. The green sunset. As soon as Kakashi heard this, he immediately closed his eyes and sung a happy song to block out the horrifying genjutsu. When Kurenai heard this, she also sung a happy song while blocking her ears, getting looks from their team. Of course the teams were curious, but when they saw their senseis singing like that, they simply turned around and closed their eyes. Kiba and Sasuke were now hesitating but still determined to see what genjutsu Naruto will make. As the jutsu was announced, he disappeared, and in his place were two men. The one looked like the younger version of himself was Zabuza. Kiba and Sasuke looked at them with horror as they were both wearing tight-fitted green speedo with orange leg warmers, as both have shiny bowl cuts and a pair of the largest eyebrows they have ever seen. As the genjutsu continued, it was now showing a sunset on a cliff with waves clashing on them, and both men were crying and running into each other as they were both shouting each other's name. Lee. Dai sensei. Lee. Dai sensei. Lee. Dai sensei. As they both hugged each other, causing Zabuza, Kiba and Sasuke, unable to pry their eyes off at the scene, and upon epic proportions, screamed like little girls that could be heard for miles as their eyes rolled behind their heads and foam was generated from their mouth as Naruto cancelled the jutsu. The hunter nin that was hiding couldn't help but sweat drop at the scene, although he could have admitted that it was horrifying. He jumped down to Zabuza's body and picked him up and sealed the sword. I thank you for assisting in taking down Zabuza, as he put a senbon in his neck, making Zabuza go in a death-like state, which Kakashi nodded that he's dead. No problem, Hunter-san. The hunter nodded and shunshined out of the area. Naruto looked at the direction his team was only to get a slap to the face from Blake. Why the hell did you use the Jinjutsu, Naruto? Blake screamed in anger. Oh no, she's using my name. It would end the fight faster. Here reason. Okijiji has a reason why you were forbidden to use that jutsu, even to enemies. I'm sorry, Blake sighed and smiled. Come on, sensei, let's continue the mission. Kakashi nodded as they continued on their journey to the land of Rainbow Mean Wave. An hour later. A young woman heard a knock from their door as she cautiously approached it, thinking it was Gato's men, until she heard her father's voice. Oi Tsunami, I'm back. As Tsunami immediately opened the door and hugged her father. The same happened with a boy with a bucket hat. Grandpa, said the young boy. Father, you're back. I was so worried that Gato might got you. As her father hugged both of them. No need to worry, daughter, I have these super ninjas to protect me, said Tazuna, getting a scowl from the young boy. What's with his obsession on the word super, said Kiba. Why, they're just going to die anyway, grumbled the young boy. Inari, you can't just say things like that, Tsunami scolded Inari as he just ran upstairs and slammed the door. I'm sorry about Inari, he's like that because he lost his father to Gato, she explained. I can relate, whispered Naruto, Blake, Hinata and Sasuke. Okay then, Kakashi clapped his hands. We'll take rotations on guarding Tazuna, Naruto and Blake Tomoro, and the rest will train, and so on, play rock paper scissors on who's going to be on guard next. By the way, Kakashi-sensei, we need to expect that Gato will hire more missing nin along with Zabuza, said Blake. Wait, I thought you said Zabuza was dead, asked Kiba. Kiba, what was the hunter stab Zabuza on the neck? Asked Kurenai. I think it was a senbon, he replied. Exactly, senbons are mostly used for disabling the nervous system, medical purposes, and something like fake a person's death, said Kurenai. Oh. This is why we need to train, though I know Naruto, Blake and Hinata don't need it, but you can't be too careful, said Kakashi. The next day. Morning came as Tazuna grabbed his equipment and goes to his bridge along with Naruto and Blake, as they were heavily armed with their weapons ready at their back. The others were in a clearing just a mile away from their client's house. Okay then, well, Blake and Naruto are guarding Tazuna-san, why don't you tell your skills and what you learned so me and Kurenai knows what to teach you, as he pointed at Sakura. I specialize in Jinjutsu and Iryujutsu, my Shuriken Jutsu is moderate and my only weakness is to Jutsu. I also learned tree walking and water walking is still in progress, said Sakura. You really came far, Sakura-san, said Shino, with Hinata agreeing. Nai-chan must have been convincing, huh, said Hinata. Not just convincing, they were rather blunt about it, Naruto and Blake that is. Okay, Sasuke. Chan. I specialize in ninjutsu and my family to jutsu, I have no weakness. Multiple people snorted at that. That's it. Said Kurenai. Kakashi, what have you been teaching him? I tried teaching him tree walking, but instead he demanded Naruto to teach all of his jutsu, rather than go to me, said Kakashi. He was already frustrated with the Uchiha. If it wasn't for his Uchiha and his students holding him back, he would have already killed the little shit. Why did you leave me with your prick of a little brother Itachi? You should have just killed him and leave Mikoto-san alive. I blame you for all of this, Obito. Elsewhere. In a certain part of AIM, a person with an orange swirl mask with one eye sneezed at particularly at nothing. Someone must be talking about. But why Toby is a good boy. Why am I stuck with this idiot, said a hunchback. That's what you think. Back with the teams. Well, that's rather idiotic. I know, Hinata, go. I specialize in water jutsus, Iryujutsu and my own personal Taijutsu. I also learned tree walking, water walking and kunai balancing, and I would like to increase my chakra reserves, she said, as Kurenai was shocked that Hinata already learned both water walking and kunai balancing. I learned from Ni-chan. Okay, Kiba, you're next, said Kurenai. I'm mostly on the taijutsu part since my family mostly team up with our ninkin. I have no elemental jutsu, just my family jutsus. I also learned tree walking, I haven't learned the water walking yet. But Shino. I don't have any elemental jutsus because my bugs already drains almost half of my chakra, I only know about my family jutsus. I would like to work on taijutsu and chakra control. I also learned tree walking from my family. Okay, I'll take my team and Sakura to learn water walking and a new chakra control exercise for Hinata, said Kurenai. Please at least leave one, whispered Kakashi, as he doesn't want to be alone with the Uchiha. Good luck, she whispered back as the people she said took off to a nearby lake. At the bridge. Hey Tazuna-san, can I ask a question, said Blake. Why, of course, replied Tazuna. Why haven't the people of Nami rebelled against Gato rather than just let him do what he wants? She asked. She looked at Tazuna, who shook his head. We already did and it failed. As compensation, that slimeball Gato took my son's life to set an example to all of us. I am sorry for your loss, Tazuna-san. It's okay, girl. I just hope that this won't ruin Inari's future. Let's change the subject, this atmosphere is too depressing, exclaimed Naruto. You're right, Gaki. Hey, do you two know a ninja move that would make building the bridge faster? Tazuna suggested. Naruto and Blake looked at each other and nodded as they summoned 20 shadow clones. Each. Is this enough? Asked Naruto. More than enough, if we do this every day, it'll be finished by the end of the month, said Tazuna, with revived excitement as well as the other workers. Don't worry, Tazuna-san, if worse comes to worst I'll just summon a giant toad to fight, he said. He got the toad contract from Jiraiya 2 years ago when Blake introduced the Icha to him. Jiraiya was quite ecstatic when Blake corrupted Minato's son in his stead. You people with your ninja magic. I'll never understand you ninjas. Tazuna shook his head about the absurdness of ninjas. You're not supposed to. Though some of us have some quirk that even we don't understand, Naruto thought out loud. True, he has seen a fair share of weirdness in the shinobi population, Guy for example. How true, said Blake as she took out her little orange book without the two noticing. Aren't you too young to read that? Said Tazuna as he raised an eyebrow at how open she was reading a smut book. Hey, the moment I got my headband I became an adult, she argued without taking her eye off her book for a second, and don't tell me, like Whiskers said, we ninjas have our own quirks. You know what, I'm not gonna question anymore, as he turned around and continued to work on the bridge. Hey Whiskers, when will the new Icha going to come, asked Blake to Naruto. Maybe next month or so, unless he gets repeatedly sent to the hospital, maybe 2 months, he replied, and that made Blake sad. Aw, I'm almost finished with this one. You know I'm really worried about you. But you'll be there for me, don't you? Why? Why did I say that, as she was mentally panicking on why did she said that in the first place? Anytime, kitty, why did she say that, with a look of confusion plastered on his face? With teammate and Sakura. Okay, Kiba, Shino, move by the side of the lake and try walking on water. Feel it like you're tree walking and adjust the amount of chakra you send to your feet. Do this repeatedly until you too can walk on water repeatedly. Shino, do this until you deplete your chakra, once it's back do it again and vice versa. Understood. Hi sensei, said both. Okay Hinata, I want you to do water walking while balancing kunais on both hands, also keep your Byakugan active, do it repeatedly for the rest of the day, after that I will teach you about Genjutsu, since it will save your life someday. The same with Sakura, all she got was a nod and proceeded towards the others were. I wonder what's Kakashi doing, probably ripping his hair out, haha. Ah. Screamed from where Kakashi and Sasuke was. Ah, I was right. Of Kakashi and Sasuke. Ah. How many times do I have to say, adjust your use and chakra to stick to the tree, as he was already ready to strangle the duck-but-haired Uchiha, don't just put more chakra on your feet. This is beneath me, just show some powerful jutsus. Arg. How can you even use them if you don't have chakra control to execute them properly, which Sasuke narrows his eyes at. Explain. Kakashi sighed at the Uchiha's simple-mindedness. For example, if you acquired A or S rank jutsu, but unable to perform or even use it, meaning you'll either don't have enough control to perform or die from chakra exhaustion, just by doing that one jutsu. Understand now? Fine, as he reluctantly continued to practice tree walking with much hate of his brother in his head. Finally he listens, he whispered to himself as he goes back to reading his orange book until Sasuke finishes and mastered the tree walking exercise. Why would they even make him a ninja? They know that he's mentally unstable. Back in Konoha. Meanwhile in Konoha there was a council meeting concerning Naruto and Blake. Okay, what is this meeting about now? Said an irate Hokage with the equally irate shinobi council members. We want an arranged marriage between Sasuke Uchiha and Blake Belladonna, asked a civilian council member that he got a full glare from the shinobi side as well as the Hokage and Danzo. And tell me, why should I do that? The Hokage narrows his eyes at that council member. Because who wouldn't want to be Uchiha-sama's wife? Uchiha-sama was also eyeing her, so I was only helping him out. Denied much to the protest of the civilians. It should be beneficial. Hokage-sama, with her talents along with Uchiha-sama, their children would be phenomenal shinobis. Tell me this, does Blake-san approved of this? No. So tell me, why should I force one of my ninjas to marry another without mutual understanding? As the civilian council has nothing to his question, is this meeting just for this, as he bombarded the civilians with intense kai that they almost stopped breathing. Hokage-sama asked a pink-haired council member. What is a council, Haruno? Is Naruto Uzumaki on a mission? Yes, why is he? Narrowed his eyes. I want to speak to him about my daughter getting raised eyebrows from the Shinobi Council. I see. He'll probably be back in a month or so. Getting a nod from the councilwoman. Meeting adjourned, and don't call us for a trivial meeting like this again. At Izuna's home 4 hours later. Team 7 and 8 were now in Izuna's home after their hard training to improve their control and reserves, except for Naruto and Blake, since they already have a huge amount of reserves and high chunin control for Naruto, while Blake was at Tsunade level control. Though Blake was thinking of making her own style since Naruto created the armor, find one that matches her physique. Hey Whisker, I could use your help in making a taijutsu, asked Blake. Sure, but why? Naruto asked back. Arma is more of a stiff and strength type of taijutsu. I need something based on flexibility and speed. Getting a thoughtful nod from Naruto and Kakashi. We'll start once we finish our mission, though I have a bad feeling about this. Why do you even try? Asked the boy with the bucket hat. Again, asked Shino. Why do you even try? You're all just going to die, the boy shouted. Hell no, we're gonna kick some ass because we're ninjas, gloated Kiba. What do you know? You probably had a good life, you don't know what it's like suffer again, the boy shouted, getting frowned looks on 3 people and getting worried looks from Kakashi and Kurenai as they worriedly glanced over to Naruto, Blake and Hinata. What do you know of suffering? Nai-san and Ni-san lost their parents. Nai-san was abused and ostracized by the villagers. Ni-san was glared at because he was different, even my own clan, and sometimes my father looked at me with disgust because of what I learned, and my mother died. And don't tell me you had a hard life, at least you have a caring family, rather than none, ranted Hinata as she moved to the door leading outside. Sensei, I'm not hungry anymore. I'm going out to train. Before she slammed the door as Inari was crying silently. Is all true? Asked Tsunami. What Hinata said was a watered-down version of our lives, said Naruto, as he was feeling phantom pains of being stabbed and bludgeoned before he met Blake. HN. I bet it's just aroused to get sympathy before he was knocked out by Shino, which surprised them. They would have thought Naruto would be the one who knocks him out. What, he was an ass? He again surprised them by how bluntly he said that. Dude, who knew you were harsh, said Kiba. Me and Blake are going to retire to our rooms, we're not hungry anymore, as Blake and Naruto have gone to their respective room to sleep. Wait, what about Hinata? Asked Kiba. She need time to cool off, besides she can take care of herself. Though I would have expected that Naruto will be the one, will rant, said Kakashi. The pressure that the clan elders are giving her are increasing, at least her father was now acknowledging her, decreasing the stress, said Kurenai. Anyway, how was training, Sakura? Asked Kakashi. It was good, Kakashi-sensei. I was enlarging my reserves to last longer, while further perfecting my chakra control and some of my Iryujutsu. That's good, can't believe I'm stuck with an egotistical Uchiha though. Obito, why did you leave me with your cousin? He created a round of sweat drops from the surrounding audience. So what's their chakra affinity? I already know that Hinata has water, but what about Sakura, Shino and Kiba? Haven't tested them yet. Do you have any chakra paper? She got a nod from Kakashi. We'll do it tomorrow, for let's just relax. What's chakra affinity? Asked a clueless Kiba. Chakra affinity, identify what kind of elemental chakra you use. For example, Kakashi has a major affinity for lightning, mine for fire, Hinata being water, Naruto wind, Blake lightning, the Uchiha being fire. For you 3 I don't know, that's why we'll find out, Tomoro explained Kurenai. Oh, you mean that lightning spear Blake made and that huge tornado from Naruto, getting nods from their sensei. Though it was quite scary how they're so powerful, especially those jutsu of theirs, said Shino, getting nods of agreement from Sakura and Kiba. But Hinata found a clearing and was clearly demolishing it with her water jutsus because she was furious at what the little boy had said. I'm suffering, at least he has people who cared about him, as she destroyed a tree trunk with her Jaiken as he collapsed in exhaustion. Nai-chan, Ni-chan, Hanabi and Himeki are the only family I have, as she cried herself to sleep with the help of chakra exhaustion since she didn't have enough stamina and chakra like her surrogate siblings. Next morning. The person with long black hair with a heart-shaped face with brown eyes wearing a pink kimono was gathering some herbs to help with her master's Zabuza. See, this person was the hunter nin that took Zabuza, but as a backup when the situation becomes too hot. The person saw a girl with a princess cut with the Hyuga insignia in her shoulders sleeping under a tree, meaning she was the enemy ninja, but couldn't but help herself to admire the girl's beautiful face as he was drawn to her for some reason and couldn't help but wake her up rather than kill her. "Hello, wake up or you'll catch a cold." He shook the girl more than once, waking her from her slumber. He looked into her lavender-colored eyes. "Beautiful," he whispered to himself before he blushed and composed himself in front of an enemy nin. Who are you?" Oh, I'm just a local here finding some herbs for someone important to me," he shyly said as he was still staring into her eyes. Well, my name is Hinata Hyuga. What's yours?" As she was embarrassed that someone was staring into her eyes this long. "Haku, nice to meet you." They stared at each other for a few minutes until Haku broke of the silence. "So are you a ninja?" "Yes. I became a ninja to become strong." "Aren't you already strong?" "No, not yet." "Do you know what makes us truly strong?" "What is it?" "If you have a precious people to protect, then you will find real strength." "Tell me, do you have precious people?" Hinata thought about his surrogate siblings, Hanabi, Himeki, Kurenai, her teammates, the Hokage. Yes I do, they're the most important people in my life." "Then you're already strong enough, as long as you keep thinking about them when you train, that determination to protect or help them will make you grow stronger." "Thank you, Ms. Haku." Before he chuckled as he nodded as he make way into the tree line before he looked back. "No problem, Hinata-san." "Oh, and I'm a boy," making the poor girl gape as he disappeared into the trees. Hinata was agape. The person she was talking to wasn't a girl, but a boy, a rather beautiful boy, maybe on Blake's level. "She's prettier than me, that's not fair." Before she walked back to Tezuna's home, hoping to explain why she didn't came back that night. Elsewhere. In a hidden hideout we see on the bed is a resting Nukenin that is Zabuza that is being threatened by a pudgy little businessman who was also the tyrant of Wave, as well as the owner of Gato Shipping Company. "Zabuza-sama, I'm back," said Haku until he saw a pudgy man with two wannabe samurais threatening Zabuza. "First the demon brothers, now you. It seems the demon of the mist is just a little baby demon," sneered pudgy man. "Why don't you take care of 8 opponents at once, see how you fare?" Zabuza sneered back. "Why you?" As two of his guards brought out their swords and was about to attack Zabuza until Haku used Zabuza's swords and put one head in the hole while the half hole was embedded into the other one into the wall. "Threaten Zabuza-sama and your heads are mine," warned Haku. "We'll take care of them next time, Gato. For now keep your pets in line," said Zabuza. "You better, Zabuza, I want that bridge builder dead." With that, Haku released the two wannabe samurais as they walked out the door. "You know, I'm not so weak that I need help in dealing those two, right? Whatever harm comes to you is my responsibility, Zabuza-sama, for I am your tool." "You're not my tool, Haku, you're more than that, not what you're thinking. Alright, it's more like a son type, not homo." "Fine, how much longer until I'm recovered?" "A week at best, if not a week and a half." "More time that I need." Before he thought of a certain blonde-haired brat who knew he was Kushina's brat. "I'll have a fun time fighting him, though I wish he hadn't used that genjutsu. That was horrifying." "I agree, Zabuza-sama, I just wish those people in the genjutsu doesn't exist." In Konoha. Two people with bowl cuts with green spandex sneezed at the same time. "Lee, someone is denying our passionate youth. That is most unyouthful of them, Guy-sensei." "Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. Shut up." A bun-haired girl slapped them in the head with a steel fan, gaining 2 lumps on their heads. "I'll do anything just to get away from those two morons," said a pale-eyed boy with long brown hair. Hazuna's house. Hinata walked in the house. What was waiting for her inside was the whole team 7 and 8, and they were extremely worried that she might have been captured. "We need to find Hinata now," said an extremely worried Cat Fronis. "Calm down, Blake, she's fine," reasoned Kakashi. If anything, she could have said more, but she was interrupted by said girl they were discussing. I'm fine, Ni-chan, I just fell asleep while training." She was glumped by a worried Blake and Kurenai. "Oh, Kami, you're alright," said Blake before she scolded her for now at least, warning them don't ever run off again. "I told you she'll overdo it," scolded both Naruto and Hinata, which they winced. Okay, I was wrong, I'll make some sweet and spicy tuna when we get back." "Okay. Now can I ask a question?" said Hinata. "Sure, Hinata, what is it?" asked Kiba. "Is it possible that there's a male as beautiful as Ni-chan?" The odd question that Hinata asked shocked the people a little bit before turning back to their normal demeanor. "Of course that's not possible, the only one who's close to that is your cousin Niji," said Naruto as he laughed. "Why don't I just show you with it?" She used hinge to turn into Haku and had their jaw drops. "Androgynous people do exist." I stand corrected before he looked closely. "Damn, androgynous people do exist, I thought they were just gays." "Whiskers, that's a bit sexist, or what I think it is." "Anyway, hey Ni-chan, you teach me how to use a scythe," said Hinata. "By a scythe, you're more like a sword or a spear person," said Naruto. "We'll pick your weapon once we get back in Konoha, we can't be sure if you can actually use or comfortable with a scythe," reasoned Blake. Hey Kurenai-sensei, why don't you also find weapons for Kiba-kun and Shino-kun? Why would we need weapons? Said Kiba. It's more like a backup if your jutsus or bugs don't work. It's probably more safe that way, in Hinata getting a thoughtful look from her team. What about you Sakura? Asked Kakashi. I'll think about it, answered Sakura. Sasuke. I'll consider it. But now Kiba, Shino, it's your turn to guard Tazuna, said Kurenai, getting nods from the two genins. If someone attack, immediately use the flare, understood, she advised. I'm going to help Kitty make her own Taijutsu, okay, said Naruto. Don't you two already have one, asked Sakura. The Arma is more in stiff movements, well I'm helping her to create one based on speed, agility and flexibility. Understandable, said Kakashi. I'm also trying to improve my Spear of the Thunder God jutsu, the gathering is too slow, molding it into a spear is also slow, and it's too volatile to fight with. Though it's mostly used for long range, I'd like it more if I can use it into a melee weapon to catch my enemies off guard, explained Blake, while Naruto also explained his training to them. I'll also need to increase my control and flexibility, I'm far too stiff to perform the movements of my kinjutsu. I still need to work on what I was still doing yesterday, said Sakura. Same here, said Hinata. Ditto, said Kiba. I'm also with them, said Shino. As long as Kakashi teach me some jutsus, QI rolls. What is Hokage-sama thinking making that boy a ninja, thought Kurenai. Blake looked at their sensei as she was tossed a scroll. That's a scroll for advanced lightning manipulation that may help you in perfecting that jutsu of yours. Thanks, sensei. I also need to perfect my dragon rage, I can only make heads, I'm trying to make it into 8, as well as faster reaction time when controlling them. The two of us also need to practice them, okay, Kakashi-sensei, said Blake, emphasizing on them. Kakashi got the meaning and nodded at them. Go practice at a clearing far away from here, since your jutsus are highly destructing to practice around others. Okay, see you later guys. With that, Blake and Naruto left the house, and Kiba and Shino followed Tazuna to the bridge with the others practicing their assigned training schedule. What if Konoha reads Naruto and rwby Chunin exams? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.